haven't. Now, apparently you, all right, you, sir, have finally done it. Let's go ahead and take a look at your source together. So I went to the Code of Federal Regulations, which is a website where you research federal regulations, i.e. federal penal codes. And in the search bar of this website, where you research federal regulations, i.e. federal law and penal codes, nothing to do with Iran's nuclear program, I typed in, what are Iran's missile and nuclear capability? And then I was returned Penal Code 772.1 definitions of terms as used in the Export Administration Regulations. Okay, all right. Well, this is clearly not going to be it, because this is going to be a penal code about
that's the wrong website.
About the Export Administration Regulations.
That's the wrong website.
You said to go to the EFR.
I said CFR.
Sorry, CFR. Yeah, I meant CFR. What do you think? What do you think Code of Federal Regulations means?
CharlieFoxtrot.Romeo.org. How come I got an article and you don't have the article that I have?
So I'm on CFR. Like that's what Code of Federal Regulations means. CFR.
And the one that I'm looking at was updated March 4th of 2026.
Oh, okay. How about you just screenshot it and show it to us?
I can't, even though I don't have camera access.
Oh. Okay, are you talking about the Council on Foreign Relations?
No, it literally says CFR.org. Like, I don't know.
I know, but I'm trying to determine here. When you say CFR, okay, do you mean like the CFR insofar as the Code of Federal Regulations, or do you mean CFR insofar as the Council on Foreign Relations?
Search Mario Figueroa. That's the writer and editor of the article. If you use Booleans, you can write like CFR, Mario.
Oh, whatever. I found it. Okay, I found it. Okay, attempt number 2. So, by the way, this is going to be the Council on Foreign Relations. All right. Let's go to take a look at the Council on Foreign Relations instead of the Code of Federal Regulations. All right. We're getting somewhere now. All right. So, where on this article written by a person can I find evidence that Iran has nukes? Oh, wait. What does this say? Does Iran have a nuclear weapon? Iran does not yet have a nuclear weapon. Damn, dude. That's
exactly,
shitty.
Dean, that's exactly what they want us to think, because they do this in secrecy. And you know it as well, Dean. You just don't want to admit it because you want your followers to be like, Dean, you're Jesus in our eyes. That's exactly what you want, Dean, isn't it?
Are you trolling?
Why would I be trolling, Dean? I've had many
thank you for the
conversations.
Galaxy. Can you repeat the question I asked you that then prompted you to give me this article?
Yeah, you said, show me your source that shows Iran still having nuclear weapons.
And your source says what?
My source says not yet. However, if you keep reading, Withers, Dean, Dean, you are in real time. In real time. Dean, stop muting. This is what you liberals do. You keep muting me. Dean. Let me
my
talk,
God.
Dean.
Little bro. Stop
girl.
idiot maxing.
Little girl, listen to what I'm saying.
Oh, your cortisol maxing now. You're getting real angry. You're getting upset.
Girl, listen, okay? First and foremost,
You're just going to start calling me a girl because I'm shitting on you? You like it when girls shit on you? Is that like a weird kink you got?
Why do you bring Dean? Dean, why do you go so far into the pocket? That is out of pocket, Dean.
Oh, that was pretty good. That was kind of funny. That was kind of funny. Come on. I even thought that was funny. Sometimes I make jokes that like I kind of think are mid.
So
I thought that one was pretty good.
So now you differentiate between boy and girl, man and woman. Now that's what you're telling me.
No, you called me a girl, and then I was because I'm shitting on you. Then I insinuated that you had a shit kink because of that. That was good. That was funny. Come on.
How on earth are you gonna pull that out of somewhere? That just makes zero sense. You're degrading girls and women by making that stupid nonsensical.
No, I'm degrading you. No, I'm degrading you because you're the one that likes it when women shit on your chest.
Stop it.
You're the one with the shit kink.
You're trying to cover up now. You're trying to cover up what you
just said. Whoa. You're the one with a shit kink, not me. Not them,
hit your vape for a minute and calm down. Hit your vape that you call anxiety pen and calm down for 1 second.
Projection.
Okay? What am I projecting? What am I projecting?
You're telling me to calm down? I think you're the person who's
talking about what you just said, Dean.
Yes.
You literally just degraded a group of females and said that they like to shit out their buttholes and there's a kink towards that and everything. You're just degrading them, Dean. Why on earth?
I can correct you here. So I was degrading you because I was saying that you're the one with a shit kink.
No, you identified girls per se.
Well, you called me a girl.
Disgusting.
Let me clarify. You called me a girl. And then I was like, why? Because I'm shitting on you? Like that was like a play on words in reference to the fact that you are losing this debate hard. Okay. And then I followed it up by saying, okay, so you like it when girls shit on you. So you have a shit kink. So how am I degrading women and girls by acknowledging that you have a shit kink?
Because there is a notion that says that girls like to shit on women shit on men all the time so they can get their way, such as with domestic violence and everything. You're bringing that into light.
I think that you're misinterpreting what I'm saying here.
Dean,
a shit kink has nothing to do with domestic violence.
I'm not misinterpreting any.
A shit kink means exactly what you think it means.
No, Dean, stop it. You need to behave yourself and actually understand how disrespectful you just
I'm just gonna stop. I'm just gonna stop there with the whole shit kick thing.
There you go. Yeah, you need to apologize, Dean. It's just like you trying to you try to cover up a lot of stuff, Dean. You just need to acknowledge it, confront it, and actually just be like, yeah, I said that. I shouldn't have said that. Just like way back when you used the N-word, just acknowledge it.
Someone's really mad that they lost the debate.
Dean, I'm calling you out at this point now, and because
I know you're calling me out.
You're hurt. And you just don't want to engage anymore because you actually know that I'm calling you up what you had just said
true.
Again.
So true.
Again,
man.
Dean. I know it's true. This is why you have no comments from me at this point. Usually you always have all the words to say. You always do.
I'm gonna let you finish
right now
speaking.
you don't. Now you don't.
I do.
You do not. You clearly don't, Dean. You're sitting there trying to think of some monologue to bring up. Dean,
come on, you're giving me a heads you win, tails I lose game here. You get mad at me and you say that I'm crashing out when I interrupt you, and now you're getting mad at me and telling me that I'm gagged and have nothing to say when I don't interrupt you. If you want to hear what I have to say, then finish your statement and I will respond.
Although, yes, I may agree that, some girls can be the downfall of men here and there, I would never publicly, in the space that you use to grift, I would never, ever bring that up to go ahead and be like, oh, yeah, I'm going to degrade women right here and now.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I think what you are confusing for me degrading women is me degrading you, okay? So what I made is something called a joke when you called me a girl because you were being misogynistic because you were losing the debate. Sir, can you stop talking? Thank you. Right? You lost the debate, dude. All right. You claim that Iran has nukes. Then I asked you for evidence for the claim that Iran has nukes. Then you gave me an article that explicitly says, and I quote, Iran does not have nukes. So then when I pointed it out to you, you started calling me a little girl. All right. And this is a tactic used by a bunch of really angry, steaming misogynists. All right. Yeah, just start calling me a little girl when I prove you wrong. So then I said, oh, are you calling me a little girl because I'm shitting on you, right, in the debate? But then I made a really funny joke and a really funny insinuation. So therefore you like it when girls shit on you, therefore you have a shit kink. And I mean, that was like, I don't know. Stephen Curry from the 3-point line. Swish.
No,
going home with a gold.
So you calling me lil bro and I said lil girl. I could have said lil sis. That was just banter to go back against what you said. But then you changed it up and then made it so disgusting.
Dude, you are so mad over my insinuation that you have a shit. You are getting really defensive about this shit kink.
If it's an insinuate,
you were getting so. Listen, we could have left the whole shit kink thing like in the conversation 10 minutes ago. Okay, but you are getting so triggered and so defensive over the whole shit kink thing. Listen, dude, I'm not gonna kink shame you. I mean, it's not personally something I'd be into. Sounds a little sticky, to say the least. But, you know, I'm not going to kink shame you. No one's getting hurt. No one's getting hurt.
Dean, again, I know you degrade women. You don't like women.
He's just going to continue to say that I'm degrading women because I'm bullying him. Dude, oh, bro. Dude, come on. All right. Now that we've, addressed the whole shit kink thing, you got weirdly defensive about. Do you want to go ahead and respond to the fact? Okay, the one only relevant fact to the debate, by the way, which would be the case that I asked you to provide me evidence that Iran has nukes, and then you provided an article that says Iran does not have nukes.
I just, 1 second, before we carry
on. You're going to go back to the shit geek. Stop talking about the shit geek. Bro, Stop it. Stop. I don't want to hear about your shit geek, dude. It's gross. It's gross, dude. I don't want to hear about your shit kink anymore. Just stick to the debate.
I'm not going to talk about the shit kink, Dean. That's disgusting.
You're talking about it right now.
I'm looking, and everyone in your comments is saying, oh, Dean would never degrade women. Dean would never disrespect them. But you think trans women are freaking women. So you do degrade women.
Debate about trans people. Oh my God. Stop it. Address the point, bro. This is getting embarrassing. You made the claim that Iran has nukes. I asked you for evidence that Iran has nukes. Then you provided me an article that says Iran does not have nukes. Address it.
So you picked out what you wanted to see. It says they do not yet. However, they secretly have had in the past not had nukes, but they actually really did. This is why a couple months ago, like you said, and I agree with you, we did destroy anything in which they had there. And that's exactly what it was. Okay, Dean?
Okay, so yeah. Then show me where in this article it says in the past. Show me where in this article it says in the past they've had nukes.
Go down to why have Iran's nuclear capabilities come under scrutiny and read through that.
Okay, which paragraph?
Just read through the whole thing. I don't know exactly where it is.
You don't know?
Let me 1 second. Let me find it.
Dude, come on, bro. All right, let's see it together. Any alarms or their nuclear programs. Iran released a missile ballistic attack, prompting retaliation. Israel conducted its largest ever direct attack on Iran, targeting its air defenses and missile production facilities. Some U.S. and Israeli media reports indicated that Israel.
Where it says, does Iran have? Go back up, right there.
Okay.
There you go. Iran does not yet have any nuclear weapon, but it has a long history of engaging in, what does it say?
Secular nuclear weapons research.
1 second.
In violation of its international commitments.
Engaging in secret nuclear weapons and whatnot. That's what I'm saying. Because of the secrecy that they go under. This is exactly what we're talking about.
Okay. Well, A, it wouldn't be secret if we knew about it. B, what it's talking about there would be its... B, what he's talking about there, what this, the author of this article is talking about there, is that they continued to attempt to enrich their uranium once the JCPOA was quote unquote terminated by Trump in his first term. So we entered into a nuclear peace agreement with Iran called the JCPOA. Then inevitably Trump pulled us out in 2019. However, there were still other countries in the JCPOA with Iran. But once America pulled out, Iran kind of did too. And then they started to re-enrich their uranium. So that's what they're referring to. It's not a secret because the IAEA knew about it. Okay, but at that point, so the JCPOA was completely defunct because Trump had pulled us out. But okay, perfect. Now that we've gone over how they started to enrich uranium after Trump pulled us outside of the JCPOA, we've not gotten any closer to you providing evidence that they possess nuclear weapons. Because them researching nuclear weapons or them enriching uranium to a level in which is not sufficient to build nuclear weapons, okay, is not the possession of a nuclear weapon. So I'm going to give you one last opportunity here for you to justify your claim that you know, okay, with good reason, that Iran possesses nuclear weapons.
Just like you said, Dean, if it's done in secret, we don't know about it. And because of their history of having it done in secret, this is exactly what we're acting on.
Wait, they don't have a history of possessing nuclear weapons in secret.
It just literally says it there, Dean. Let me look.
That's furthering nuclear research. Furthering nuclear research is different from legitimately possessing nuclear weapons. No. Listen to yourself, bro. Them investing into a nuclear program to do nuclear research is not possessing nuclear weapons. Okay, researching something is not having something. Okay, if I research the Christian God Jesus Christ, that doesn't mean that I have Jesus Christ in like a little bottle on my desk somewhere. You know, if I research nukes, if I do my own nuclear, that doesn't mean that I have nukes.
They've had it in the oh my gosh, Dean, this is what I mean. You're very disingenuous. You take what you want
There's
and explain it how
nothing
you
disingenuous
want.
about what I
Dean,
just said. Nada.
Every person that comes up here to talk that brings up relevant information, you dissect what you want,
and then
you
I
take
prove it
what
to
you
be
want out
wrong.
of it,
Base Dean
and-
W's. Can we get some Dean W's in the chat? Proving the MAGA wrong every day. Stay pissed. Holy shit. I don't know what to tell you. Cry like a baby and whine too. Coat maxing. We got a coat maxer on the live. Keep coat maxing, buddy.
What are you talking about?
I'm calling you a coat maxer because you're coping hard as fuck. I proved you wrong. Womp womp. Move on with it.
What, you didn't prove me wrong, no way.
Yes,
Dean.
I
You're
did,
only
because your
person
claim
proving
was
it
is that
yourself.
Iran has nuclear weapons, and you have evidence that Iran has nuclear weapons, and then you give me the evidence, and it literally says Iran does not have nuclear weapons, but they've done secret research into nuclear weapons in the past, and then I clarified to you how it's not secret because we know about it, the IAEA knows about it, the author of this article knows about it, and just merely doing research into nuclear weapons does not mean that you possess a nuclear weapon, contrary to your claim that they do, and then I give you further evidence of that, i.e. if I do research into nuclear weapons, that doesn't mean that I possess a nuclear weapon, right?
Yeah,
not to
because you've
mention
never had the
that
history
the
of having
author of the article that you gave me says the same thing, okay? The author of the article that you gave me says, and I quote, they're doing this research, but they don't yet have a nuclear weapon. Your own source proves you wrong. Your own source
That's how
claims
you
that they do
interpret it,
not
Dean.
have, no, that's what it says. Quote unquote, Iran does not yet have a nuclear weapon, is what it says literally right here. And you are claiming that they do have a nuclear weapon because of the secret research, in which is cited in the second part of the sentence. But for the last and final time, you fucking shud, okay? Just because a country is doing research into nukes doesn't mean that they possess nukes. And your claim was not that they were doing research into nukes. Your claim is that they possessed nukes.
You know, it would be a good. You know what actually would be something great if we were to get nuked here by Iran, and then I would love to see exactly how your stance would
Fear
change.
mongering, Maxine. You can't
I'm
just
not
like
fear-mongering.
respond to like the legitimate argument which I gave you by then continuing to fear monger, bro. You lost the debate. You can't provide evidence that they have nukes. So now you're just gonna say, "Oh well, what if we did get nuked? It would suck." Yeah, bro. Like what if what if like a unicorn like flew to Earth and burped, and then their burp contained a toxic gas in which killed everybody on the face of planet Earth. I mean, like what?
And
If
if it's a
right?
unicorn,
This must mean that magical unicorns that burp toxic gases that could kill everybody alive exist, right? Because that's your argument.
you're yapping, bro. I didn't even catch what you said. I only heard.
Sure,
about
I'll go ahead
the
and repeat it.
unicorn.
Now you're positing that you know they have nukes because, well, what if they nuked us? It would suck. Okay, therefore, I know that unicorns that could burp magical gases that would kill everybody alive exist because, well, what if a unicorn came to Earth and burped a magical gas that killed everybody alive? That would suck.
So that's a poor hypothetical because we know that unicorns don't exist.
Okay,
So,
the same way that we know Iran doesn't have nuclear weapons. I mean, it literally says it in the article you gave me.
yeah, bro, literally, it says that they've done nuclear research in the past,
And I
they
agree.
had come up with having nuclear weapons. Oh, you dropped your bait. They had come up with having nuclear weapons.
No, where does
right?
it say
And
that?
That
Where
is
does it
why
say
we-
that?
That is why we wiped them out last couple
Wait,
months ago, Dean.
No, we didn't. We didn't wipe them out months ago because they had nuclear weapons. We wiped them out months ago because they were enriching uranium. Enriching uranium at below an extent in which is weapons grade, or even at an extent in which is weapons grade, is not equivalent to a nuclear weapon. They don't have a nuclear arsenal. They've never had a nuclear arsenal. There's never been anybody who's ever claimed they have a nuclear arsenal. Even Netanyahu. Netanyahu has never claimed that Iran has nukes. He's only ever claimed that they're like weeks away from having nukes. And he's been doing that since the 90s. Okay, the point is that you were wrong when you said, okay, that Iran has nuclear weapons. And I'll even argue here that you were wrong when you said that Trump claimed Iran has nuclear weapons. I don't think he's even claimed that. Okay? Can you prove that Trump even claimed that?
Yeah, it was Tulsi Gabbard literally told us.
Told us that Trump claimed they have nukes?
Yeah, it was at Trump's discretion of whatever she said in a little thing she said.
Well, Trump's discretion was that they're quote unquote imminent nuclear threat, not quote unquote Iran has nukes.
I didn't say anything about having nukes. I was saying that there's still a nuclear threat.
No. You said, and I quote, Iran has nuclear weapons.
Right. Regardless, they're a nuclear threat, and that is why we
no, don't pivot away, dude. You concede that Iran does not have nuclear weapons, contrary to the claim which you've been repeating.
I'll concede. As of this time, they don't.
Thank you for conceding. Thank you for conceding. Good boy. Thank you. How does it feel to concede?
Well, you tell me, Dean, because all the other times that I've been up and I've...
Dude, yeah, all the other times that he's been up, he won, including that time. We're going to move on to the next guest. By the way, according to that guy, he won that debate, everybody. According to that guy, he won the debate, so that's cute. We're going to get that next guest loaded up into the box right now, bro. I'm kind of on one today. I'm not going to lie. I'm feeling it, dude. I'm feeling it, man. I took a nap today, folks, so I have a bunch of energy, and I'm just ready to hit the road running against these Trump supporters. Yeah, okay. I'm going to thank a couple people. Eric, I appreciate you for that, Galaxy. Then we're going to go and hop into the next debate. This is on Super Chat. Thank you, 10,000 seconds for the $20. Appreciate you so much for the love. Show some love to 10,000 seconds down below. Who says, I was in the military and worked recon on WMDs on several countries in the region. Iran isn't a threat. Yeah, they have never been an imminent nuclear threat. That's just not true. Thank you for the $20, 10,000 seconds. And then Luna, thank you for the 12 euros, who says, why is he so emotional? He's a little misogynist. You said Dean probably always acts like he's Jesus, but he probably is just acting like a doctor, lol. He sure knows how to dissect your BS. That's funny, Luna. Yeah, I'm just acting like a doctor. Where are my like Galliant, like white and red robes at? Where are my healing abilities with light emitting from my hands at? I need to act like a doctor. And then we got another incredibly kind super chat from Sarah here. Sarah, thank you so much for the second $100 on super chat. I don't even know what to say, Sarah. That is nuts. Thank you so very much for the love and support. Like, genuinely, like, that is fucking insane. I'm so very grateful for you, Sarah. I want to see at least 1,000 Sarah W's down below in that comment section. Well, along with that $100 dono, Sarah says, keep cooking, King. I'll never stop. I love it too much. Just know that I'm so fucking grateful. I don't deserve that. Like, it is just beyond kind, and I thank you so very much for the love and support, Sarah. Dude, oh my God. Same thing to Bob, Andrea, and Jose on Venmo. Bob, thank you so much for the $100 donation. Show some love to Sarah and Bob for the $100. Like I said, I don't fucking deserve it from the bottom of my heart. Thank you both. That is just so insane to me. I will never understand why individuals choose to be so kind. Thank you, Bob. Oh my God. Thank you, Bob. Bob with $100 says, I'm 74 and retired. I appreciate you. I appreciate you too, dude. I hope that you're enjoying today's stream, Bob. And thank you so much, so very much for supporting what we do. Show some love to Sarah and Bob, as well as Andrea. Thank you so much for the $50 on Venmo. Let's get another 500 Andrea W's. Thank you, Andrea. That is nuts as well. Andrea with the 50 says, I'm a woman and was not offended. LOL, you were calling him out, not women. He's so mad. Love your work. Keep fighting. Dude, he was fighting so hard to misinterpret what I was saying. What a loser. Thank you for the $50, Andrea. Jose, thank you for the $56 and the 56 cents. Show some love to Jose. What is going on? What the fuck is happening? Thank you, Jose. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you, Bob. Jose with this $56 donation says, Dean, it's the weekend It's the weekend. Use the money in good fun. You deserve it for all the mental abuse you suffer every time MAGA opens their mouth and vomits lies and half-truths. God bless you, Dean. Jose, I know that this is not your first time tuning into the live stream or even supporting me. I'm so grateful for you. I will happily be using that for some fun this weekend. Thank you so very much for the love and support, Jose. Holy crap. And in fact, we even have one more. Dude, I don't know what's going on. Like legitimately, what the fuck is happening today? Jordan, thank you for the $50 donation as well on Venmo. This came in 16 minutes ago. 500 Jordan W's. What the hell? Jordan with the $50 says, keep up the content. Love the content. Sorry. Keep it up, bro. Thank you, Jordan. Like I said to Sarah, Bob, Andrea, and Jose, I hope that you enjoyed today's stream. I don't know what is going on today. Something's in the air. You guys are being so unbelievably kind. But just know that I really, 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 really appreciate you, Jordan. Thank you so much for the love and support. Oh, like, dude, what the hell? As well as Ellen, thank you for the $12 on PayPal. Thank you. And then over on PayPal, thank you so much, Teodora, for the $15, who says, hey, Dean, I've been watching you nearly every day since September, and I love watching you for hours. You make my day. you make my day and make me feel like I'm not going insane. I'm happy that the live streams help you feel a little bit better about the state of the world, because I know it's crazy out there. Thank you for the $15, Theodora. Then one last one here. Thank you so much, Ellen, for the $10 as well. I appreciate that, Ellen. And then Michael, thank you for the $5. And with that, we are all caught up. Let's go ahead and hop into the next debate. I appreciate you guys so much for the patience. Welcome in. Do you support Trump? He's muted.
Yeah, I do. Yes, Dean.
Okay. So why do you support a president that is just tanking our economy? Manufacturers are leaving. Layoffs are up. Unemployment is up. Investment is down. GDP growth is down by 1%. Jobs reports are in the shitter. Why?
I'm doing fine. I just don't support the Democrats whatsoever. I would vote for anybody besides the Democrats.
You wouldn't vote for the people that want to like give tax cuts to the working class? I mean,
No,
ensure that we have strong allyships with our transatlantic partners, want to avoid unnecessary war through diplomacy instead. Why?
See, that's just inaccurate. Completely inaccurate.
Well, I mean, they want to avoid unnecessary war and rather go through diplomacy, i.e. Obama with the JCPOA. They want to have strong relationships with their transatlantic partnerships. I mean, just look at what AOC has to say about how important they are to us.
No, that's
they want to give tax cuts to the working class. Kamala Harris ran on $2 trillion worth of tax cuts for the 120 million Americans in the low and the middle class. And you just continue to say that none of this is true. I mean, I could give you sources for everything I said.
How could you say the Democrats are against war when they literally wiped their butts with the Doha Agreement and just evacuated Afghanistan so poorly, closing down one airport, only allowing one airport open, which was a complete catastrophe.
Your mic is shitty, bro. You fix your mic.
Is that better?
Yeah, there you go. Go ahead.
So completely, evacuating Afghanistan poorly by wiping their butts with the Doha Agreement, and then subsequently giving over $94 billion of weaponry to the Taliban, the sworn enemy of the Russians, foregoing them, giving them leeway to go right into Ukraine.
Dude's just lying.
They saw no leadership in the United States. This is just what I see as a voter.
Yeah, you're just wrong. You're wrong. There was $7.1 billion worth of operable equipment left in Afghanistan, and it wasn't even owned by us. It was owned by the Afghanistani government, and that's according to the DoD.
It doesn't matter. The point is they gave it.
It does matter because you just claimed that our government left $96 billion worth of our own functioning military equipment in Afghanistan, and that claim is just not true. We didn't leave a single dollar of functioning equipment of our own in Afghanistan, and any of the functioning equipment that stayed in Afghanistan wasn't owned by us. It was owned by the Afghani government.
That's a lie.
Okay, give me your source.
I literally saw it on the news. They're flying Black Hawk helicopters.
Okay, yeah. That belonged to who? The Afghanistan government. That was a part of the $7.1 billion of the Afghani equipment that was left there. Not owned by us. Not operated by us. Never used by us.
So, do you know what kind of training requires to fly a Black Hawk?
I don't know. Go ask the Taliban because apparently they do.
Okay, so who do you think trained the Taliban to fly Black Hawk helicopters? Who do you think would have that kind of ability?
Who fucking knows?
Come on, Dean, you're smarter than that.
Well, I mean, I think that you're pivoting because, I don't know who the hell trained them. They probably trained themselves. Okay, but listen, the point here is that you called me a liar when I told you that we didn't leave any of our military equipment in Afghanistan that was functional, and any of the equipment left in Afghanistan that was functional wasn't used by us and was owned by the Afghani government. And then you called me a liar. I have a source for you right here. So, Army Major Rob Lodwick, a Department of Defense spokesperson, said in a statement, quote unquote, the $7.12 billion figure cited in the department's recent report to Congress corresponds to the A&D SF equipment and not U.S. military equipment used by our forces. All equipment used by U.S. military forces in Afghanistan was either retrograded or destroyed prior to withdrawal, and is not a part of the $7.12 billion figure cited within the report, insofar as the equipment that was left in the country to be operable. You could find this statement from the spokesperson yourself by just looking up his name, or going to Google and typing in U.S. left behind $7 billion worth of military equipment in Afghanistan after 2021 withdrawal, Pentagon report says.
Yeah, well, it was more than that, and that's just Anyway,
but the Pentagon report disagrees with you. So why do you think that the Pentagon report was false?
okay, well, because the president said otherwise. Okay, so
Show me that.
It was literally what was reported even when it happened.
Sure, then show me that. Show me where Biden said otherwise.
I'm not going to grab out of my computer.
No, I want you to grab out your computer and find your source because I'm calling you out. I think that you're a liar.
I don't want to do that at this moment.
I know, because you're scared of being exposed as a fraud.
No, I'm not, because what I'm saying
then I don't think that you're fit to be on the live stream, sir. This is a debate live stream where we have back and forth, transparent conversation while uplifting critical thought. Okay, I just gave you a report from the Pentagon to prove you wrong, and now you're saying that not only do you disagree with me, but you disagree with the Pentagon. Show me your source. We're not going to sit here and dink around with their little trust me bros. Okay, stop idiot maxing and actually give me evidence that you're right and I'm wrong.
You actually proved my point when you said there was $7 billion left over. Okay, we can go tit for tat on the amount of money that they keep saying is there, and then they change it another way. Anyway, intelligence is fucked. The point is, the Nord Stream pipeline was then blown up, and then they blamed it on Russia, which makes no sense. It's their pipeline. If they wanted to cut off oil, or I think it was natural gas. If they wanted to cut off natural gas to Europe, they could just turn it off. They don't need to blow it up. And the only country capable of even doing such a thing is probably us. Okay, so that's an act of WAR. And who knows if Biden authorized it or not, because Biden was a lame sack president who couldn't even fucking debate nobody. You could have debated better than Joe Biden, let's be honest.
Okay, so first and foremost, you're completely pivoting, all right? Because your first claim was to make a point about Afghanistan. You got proven wrong because I gave you a source from the Pentagon. You still said that I was wrong and said that the president said otherwise, and I asked you for your evidence and you had none. And now you're just randomly bringing up the Nord Stream pipeline saying that Biden did it. First and foremost, that's another claim without evidence. And second of all, the main suspects for the Nord Stream pipeline is a small group of Ukrainian operatives, but of course Ukraine denies that, and that came out from the Wall Street Journal. So there's no reason to suspect that Biden blew up the Nord Stream pipeline. That is a baseless conspiracy theory, no different than the 2020 election.
Well, the only country capable of going that deep in special ops is probably one that's pretty powerful. Anyway, moving on.
Wait, no, not anyways. If you go on Google, you type in a drunken evening, a rented yacht, the real story of the Nord Stream pipeline sabotage, WSJ, well, then you actually get a report from the Wall Street Journal, and which is unironically affirmed by German investigators as well. So once again, I've now given you my evidence that your claim is wrong. Can you please give me your evidence that your claim is right?
I was making a point about cause and effect.
Okay, so then give me your evidence that your claim is right now that I've given you evidence your claim is wrong.
The world's fucked up. War in Ukraine.
No, give me your evidence that Biden blew up the Nord Stream pipeline. Give it.
I didn't say that. I said they blamed Russia, and I just think that's weird considering it's their pipeline that they could just turn off.
Bro, what does any of this have to do with Afghanistan?
It has a lot to do with Afghanistan because that's Russia's sworn enemy. You do know Russia invaded Afghanistan, right?
Well, what is the connection here?
That's the connection. You're giving armaments and you're giving the means to their enemies. So Russia's great.
Oh,
the
yeah.
United States has no leadership.
Once again, that's not true. Biden didn't give any U.S. arms to the Taliban.
That's what happened. That's what happened.
The Pentagon report says otherwise. The DOD says otherwise.
No, it's not true. Putin said he never had any
you can't just say it's not true when I gave you the name of the DOD spokesperson that said otherwise. I'll repeat it. Once again, the DOD explicitly says, and I quote, let me find the quote. And I quote, the all equipment used by military forces in Afghanistan was retrograded or destroyed prior to a withdrawal, and the $7.12 billion figure cited within the department's recent report to Congress corresponds to ANDSF equipment and not U.S. military equipment used by our forces.
Okay, so
do you know what ANDSF is?
Again, we can go tit for tat on money, but the point
do you know what the
ANDSF
is?
We're left.
Do you know what do you know what the ANDSF is?
The ANDFS. The ANDSF. The Afghan National Defense Security Forces.
You looked it up. Good boy. Yes. So the Pentagon
I just
says
actually thought
that
of that
any
in
of
my
the that any of the operable
literally just
equipment
thought of
left
it
in
in my head.
Afghanistan was from the Afghani government. So we did not leave any U.S. military equipment in Afghanistan. Right or wrong?
According to the Department of Defense, that's
Pentagon.
inaccurate.
Okay, so when the Pentagon and the Department of Defense are telling us that we left no U.S. Military equipment that was operable in the country, why don't you believe them?
Yeah, because they did. Okay.
According to whom?
The Department of Defense.
But you just told me that the Department of Defense once again affirmed that we didn't.
No, that's not what I said. They actually.
That's what I just read.
The breakdown was 1.4 billion in vehicles, another 923 million in aircraft, including helicopters, many at the Kabul airport, and then weapons and small arms, hundreds of thousands. So yeah, we did, and that's just not cool.
All of the equipment that you're reading right now is from the ANDSF. That's literally what Army Major Rob Lodwick said. I mean, I don't know why you continue to reject this.
But we were not supposed to leave that stuff there.
Okay, but so wait. Now you're equivocating. Which one is it? Is this American military equipment, or is it not American military equipment?
It is, and then we're not supposed to give it to them.
Okay, so it is U.S. military equipment?
Yes.
Okay, so then why does a DoD say all equipment used by U.S. forces in Afghanistan was either retrograded or destroyed, and the only equipment in which was left operable was ANDSF equipment?
Yeah, because they didn't want to give it over to the new Taliban government.
They didn't want to give it over to the new Taliban government. I'm confused on how that responds to my description on how you're wrong when you claim that we left operable U.S. equipment in Afghanistan. You're incoherent. You're literally speaking gibberish because you're like,
no, it's not.
You jumped in a pool a little bit too deep for you because you've never done any legitimate research into the topic. Okay,
So
I don't know how many times I'm going to need to so do you think that the DoD lied to us? Okay, when the DoD said that we left no operable U.S. equipment in Afghanistan.
Dude, they didn't lie. They even said they did. I really don't know where you're getting at.
Okay, can you please give me a source where the Department of Defense said that they left operable U.S. equipment in Afghanistan? Because I just gave you a source that the Department of Defense explicitly said they left no operable U.S. military equipment in Afghanistan, and any operable equipment that remained was owned by the Afghani government. So please give me your source that the DoD said they left operable U.S. equipment in Afghanistan.
Hey, I'm getting a call. 1 second.
Nope, you're gonna run. You're gonna run because you don't have that source because you're in
No,
over
I'm
your head.
actually working. Okay,
You're in over your head, buddy. You're in over your head. I understand. I'd leave too if I was you. I'd run too.
Hey,
Run,
no,
Maxine.
Let's
run,
it's
Maxine.
not.
Yep, you're
No,
run, Maxine.
I'm not gonna sit here and go tit for tat with you.
And I know you're not gonna sit here and give me a source for your claim. That's what you're not gonna do because you're wrong.
Fox News.
Fox News, yeah, you Fox News, the company that had to pay $1 billion in a lawsuit because they lied. Sure. What is the title of the Fox News article in which?
Is CNN better for you?
Well, I mean, actually, I was just reading you from a CNN article where Army Major Rob Loderick explicitly says that they did not leave any operable U.S. equipment in the country.
Okay, see, that's just a bold-faced lie.
Okay, so then you do think that the DoD lied to us?
Yeah, maybe.
Prove it.
My own two eyes.
yeah. Oh my God, this is.
I'll never
dude,
forget when the Taliban were flying their
I'm in bot
with
lobbies,
a
bro.
Brand new.
I'm legit in bot
Hawk
lobbies.
Helicopter. I'll never forget about that.
I'm legit in bot lobbies, folks. I'm legit in
and
bot
over the
lobbies.
course of 20 years, we did spend like $80+ billion. So we did. Okay, and we did absolutely nothing for that region, and it was a terrible withdrawal under the Biden administration, which was a cause and effect to the Ukrainian engagement.
All right, I'm going to go and prove you wrong. So you said that your source, that the DoD lied when they said that there was no operable U.S. equipment left in Afghanistan, was your own eyes, because you saw the Taliban flying Black Hawk helicopters. Well, if you listened to me, then you would have also heard me said that that same DoD spokesperson did say that there was $7.2 billion worth of operable Afghanistan equipment left in Afghanistan. for their government because they didn't fall until after the withdrawal, right? So I want you to point me to the evidence that all the Black Hawk helicopters, okay, that the Taliban individuals were flying around were actually, okay, U.S. equipment and not Afghani equipment.
Dean, are you really suggesting that the withdrawal was a good thing by the Biden
Are you really pivoting?
Are you? I can't even believe that you would even.
What I'm suggesting is that you're wrong. What I'm suggesting is that you're wrong when you say that all of the Black Hawk helicopters that the Taliban were flying around belonged to the U.S. because they didn't. They belonged to the Afghanistan government.
Okay. Which then the Taliban
so do you
were flying within an
yes.
hour.
Yes.
And
so
then,
do you accept that you were wrong?
People were hanging off
So
the
do you accept that you were wrong? So do you accept that you were wrong?
Oh, here we go.
Do you accept that you were wrong?
No.
Okay, so I just want to clarify, now that I've given you a source from the DoD and the Pentagon in which has no operable U.S. military equipment was left, and a source that proves that there was operable Afghani equipment that was still there because the Afghanistan government stood after the pullout only for a little bit, so we wanted to leave them their arms to try to fight against the Taliban, ultimately when we withdrew, you're claiming that it was still the U.S. military equipment in which the Taliban used, even though the Pentagon and the DoD said otherwise. Okay, but so once again I'll ask you, this is a very specific question that I don't want you to pivot away from. Give me the specific evidence that the operable military equipment used by the Taliban belonged to the U.S. and didn't belong to the Afghanistan government that they overthrew.
Was it built by the United States, Dane?
It was not built by a country, no. It was built by private companies.
So Black Hawk helicopters are not built in the United States?
Oh, well, you said by the United States. They're built in the United States by U.S. arm producers, which are private manufacturers, but they're not built by the United States.
Got it. Cool. Anyway, so
can you give me the evidence that they were U.S. military equipment?
I just did.
No, you didn't. You just said that they were built by private companies in the U.S. Just because an arm is built by a private company in the U.S. does not mean that it's U.S. military equipment, okay? Because those private companies operate as contractors for the U.S. government, and they also operate as contractors for other governments allowed by our own, like the Afghanistan government like the Afghanistan government. So they were not owned by the U.S. military. You were just straight up wrong.
We don't give Black Hawk helicopters to countries. You understand me?
Yeah, we don't give them to other countries. They buy it from our private producers through contracts.
No, they don't.
Okay, prove it. Then prove it.
It depends.
He can't do it. He can't prove it.
It might be, if any Black Hawk helicopter is, like, let's say, given, it would be retrofitted or done in a way that doesn't have the war components inside the.
They honestly probably were. Okay.
Not these ones.
Okay, prove it.
So,
prove that helicopter was owned by our military and expose the DoD for this massive cover-up. Okay, because once again, the DoD and the Pentagon has consistently claimed that those were not our equipment.
Okay, well, that's fantastic. It doesn't change the fact
do you notice how you don't have any evidence here?
The sides of planes, brother.
Okay, and that doesn't change the fact that you're wrong when you say that it was U.S. military equipment. And you don't care about facts, do you? Because you continue to re-suggest that it was U.S. military equipment when I've given you a report from the Pentagon and a statement from a DoD spokesperson that has said otherwise.
And then the Biden administration just left.
And then you pivot. Bro. No, don't pivot. Prove it.
No, I'm just telling you how disgusting.
Okay, you can tell me it after you prove that it was U.S. military equipment.
You know, when he wasn't touching little girls.
Okay, it seems like, sorry, we're not talking about Donald Trump admitting to sexual exploitation or rape Asian Carol. We're talking about your false claim that it was U.S. military equipment used by the Taliban. Please stay on track.
I can play
you
like
prove it?
a 10-minute video of Joe Biden touching little girls, brother.
Okay,
like,
after you prove that it was U.S. military equipment owned by Donald Trump. Owned by the Taliban.
Yeah, I already told you.
No, yeah, but you did. Yes, you told me, but you didn't prove it.
Yeah, and then you literally said that it was made by
you made the
country.
claim. Listen, you made the claim, but you didn't prove it. So I want you to prove it the same way I proved to you that it wasn't. The same way I gave you the very specific Pentagon report and the very specific name and title of the DoD spokesperson that says it was not U.S. military equipment. How about this? I want you to give me a source. I want you to give me one source, okay, anywhere on the internet in which debunks the DoD's claim, okay, that was not U.S. military equipment.
I don't have that in front of me right now.
I know, because you don't operate on facts. Thank you for the concession, little bro. Good to know that I still got it.
My own two eyes, you know.
Oh yeah,
So
your
anyway,
own. Trust me, bro. So, anyways, after the trust me, bro. No, either concede or prove it. Only two options, my friend.
you know what, man? My own two eyes did not fool me when I saw that, and then
Your
what
own
happened
two eyes
afterward.
don't give you sufficient input in order to demonstrate that anything in which I said was false. Your own two eyes cannot refute a Pentagon report that says that we retrograded or destroyed all U.S. military
Yes,
equipment that
it
we left in your
can,
country.
because-
Your own two eyes cannot refute Rob Lodwick, who was an Army major and a spokesperson for the DoD, that said any of the operatable military equipment that was left in Afghanistan was owned by the Afghanistan government that still stood when we left. Your own two eyes can't refute any of that. You're legit just like a moron. You're moron maxing. Stop moron maxing and get a brain. This is legit fucking embarrassing for you, and it's embarrassing for MAGA. And honestly, in a certain sense, I have to thank you, because you push so many people to my side. When the average apolitical viewer watching this stream, even if they're like a little bit right-leaning, sees the liberal giving evidence from Pentagon reports and DoD spokespersons proving that there was no U.S. military equipment that was left operable inside of Afghanistan, and then the MAGA person will only say that that's wrong and that the DoD was lying and that this was a huge scandal. And then when asked for your evidence, you just say your own two eyes. You only push more people further away from your more people away from your movement, and for that I thank you.
That's not true. I literally told you per the DoD report. And then
Oh yeah,
you're saying,
show me the DoD report that says there was U.S. military equipment left operable in Afghanistan. Show me the DoD report.
Bro, what the hell do you think 1,200 Humvees are? Like, that's not U.S.
Bro,
military equipment?
yeah, so I just want to clarify.
Why do you have
think-
to be so dishonest, bro?
So I just want to clarify that you think every single Humvee everywhere on the face of planet Earth is U.S. military equipment.
Yeah, and we left it there.
No way! No fucking way.
I'm talking about Afghanistan.
Thank you so much, Tina, for the Leon the Kitten. No fucking way. You just said every single Humvee everywhere on Earth is U.S. military equipment. You're so stupid.
No, I didn't mean that. What I'm saying is we do sell armaments to people like F-18s, F-15s, F-16s, and so on. Unless you're Israel, they have their own aircraft, I believe. But yeah, we don't really sell to everybody. You know what I mean? Like, we don't sell to Russia. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we sold to Afghanistan.
We don't sell to China.
We sold to Afghanistan. Holy.
We invaded Afghanistan. We took it over, and
we sold to their
invested
government.
in infrastructure that collapsed, and then we evacuated like a bunch of idiots underneath Joe
We
Biden.
so, did we or did we not sell / give equipment to the Afghanistan government?
Well, we were in control of it, sure, but when Trump was negotiating with the Taliban,
You're not answering my
he told
question.
them-
Did we or did we not sell U.S. military equipment to Afghanistan, making it Afghani special forces equipment?
Total equipment provided to Afghani forces, I think, was what, like a lot of money. I don't know, like 20 billion or something.
The answer was yes to that question.
Yeah, but it
Okay,
still
perfect.
doesn't change the fact that.
Okay, so then wait. So then your own two eyes. Wait. So then your own two eyes here cannot reliably dictate that the DoD was lying when they said we didn't leave any operable U.S. military equipment behind, because your own two eyes cannot distinguish between a Humvee that we sold to the Afghanistan government and a Humvee that we didn't sell to an Afghanistan.
Yeah, I understand, but out of the 90.
Okay, so then what is your evidence that the DoD lied? Because up until this point in the
I'm
debate,
not saying
your
that
evidence
they're
that
lying. I'm just telling you.
yes,
the
you are.
report
You
that they-
explicitly said that the DoD lied. Okay, when they said that there was no operable U.S. military equipment left in Afghanistan, and the only equipment in which remained was owned by the Afghanistani government. And then I
you
asked you insofar as
asked
why you
me-
believe that the DoD is lying, and you said your own two eyes. Yes or no? Can your own two eyes distinguish between a Humvee owned by Afghanistan and a Humvee owned by America? Can they?
No, you asked me.
No.
I
Answer the
thought
question.
they
Can
were
your own two
lying.
eyes distinguish
And I said,
between a Humvee owned by Afghanistan and a Humvee owned by America?
You know, like it when people prove you wrong. On
I want
these
you to
things,
answer my
but
question. Can your own two eyes distinguish between a Humvee owned by Afghanistan and a Humvee owned by America?
Possibly,
Okay, what are the differences?
I'd have to see them.
Okay, so you don't know what the differences are, but I thought you said that you did know what the differences are, and that's why you could reliably determine that the U.S. DoD lied when they said they didn't leave any operable equipment behind, because you saw pictures of the Taliban explicitly using U.S. military equipment.
Video.
You're cooked.
Video. They were
Okay.
hanging their flag like moments after they seized Kabul.
But I thought you just said that you couldn't reliably determine right now the difference between Afghanistan
Dean, it's just
equipment
my
and U.S.
brain
equipment.
My brain got thinking, like, how the hell did the Taliban manage to operate that thing so fast? Gee, I wonder.
How do you know that that equipment belonged to the U.S.? You don't.
Because I'm not stupid.
Okay, so then lead me through the thought process. Lead me through the thought process legitimately. How do you know that that equipment was owned by belonged to the U.S.?
The sworn enemy of your country is flying in Black Hawk helicopters moments after seizing a city that your country's tax dollars paid $5.5 billion to develop.
Wait. Moments after seizing what? Wait. Flying in the equipment moments after seizing what?
Insane.
Moments after seizing what?
This is insane conversation.
Wait. They were flying around in the Black Hawk helicopters and driving the Humvees moments after seizing what? Control of what? The Afghanistan government, right? So wouldn't it make sense that they were flying around in the Afghanistan government's Blackhawks and driving around the Afghanistan government's Humvees moments after seizing the Afghanistan government?
No, Dean, because
no, that doesn't make sense. Okay, I want you to explicitly tell me why it doesn't make sense that the Taliban would be showcasing the military equipment of the government that they just overthrew.
Sure, because the withdrawal was supposed to be gradual, and we weren't supposed to just leave in the way that we did.
You're pivoting
And
because now you're attempting to make an argument that the withdrawal was botched, but an argument that the withdrawal was botched is not an argument that the equipment you saw the Taliban using belonged to the U.S.
You don't remember when the Taliban were making videos of them eating ice cream moments after making fun of your boy Joe Biden? They were literally rubbing it in your fucking face, man.
And none of this goes to show that the U.S. military equipment was left in Afghanistan, then used by the Taliban government.
U.S. equipment eating ice cream.
How do you know that it was U.S. equipment? How do you know that it was U.S. equipment?
Because they were standing in front of it and it said USA on it.
Oh, it said U.S. Show me exactly where.
I just remember it.
Okay, but you can't prove it?
They were like...
So your sources, I just want to clarify, your sources trust me, bro, right?
That's another thing, too, is like...
So I just want to clarify that your sources trust me, bro, right?
Trump was banned off
No, Trump, I just want to clarify that your sources trust me, bro, right?
No, it's literally that I saw it on X. Like,
oh yeah, you just saw it. Just trust me, bro. Just trust me, bro. Dude, you're coping. You're fucking coping.
Are you that the Taliban weren't making videos of Joe Biden fucking eating ice cream and mocking him? Really? You're gonna?
Yeah, I'm gonna deny that they made videos with U.S. military equipment because that's what the Pentagon and DoD concluded. You idiot! You fucking undeniable chud.
You're such a shill for the fucking Democrats.
Wait, why? Because I trust the audited Pentagon and DoD report.
Dean, you're funny. I gotta get going.
Well, yeah, you gotta run because I'm debunking your ass. You have to run because I'm debunking you so hard, bro.
No, I'm
completely
debunking.
Were you the debunking guy? I think somebody else was the debunking guy. You gotta run because I'm debunking your ass so fucking hard.
I gotta go. It's a good.
Yeah, bro. I know, bro. Run because you don't want to see or hear from Army Major Rob Loderick, a spokesperson of the DoD, that explicitly said that the Pentagon report concluded, that we left no operatable U.S. military equipment behind in Afghanistan, and the $7.2 billion worth of equipment that was operable that was left in Afghanistan were owned by the Afghani government. And not only was it independently confirmed by the DoD spokesperson Rob, but you could also just read the Pentagon report for yourself on the internet. He left. Dude, we are just drilling these fuckers today. We are drilling them so fucking hard. Dude, get absolutely pushed. Maybe I need to back off a little bit. Maybe I'm going a little bit too hard. Folks, am I going a little bit too hard today? We have 12,000 viewers and only 37 guest requests, which makes me think that I'm maybe going a little bit too hard and people don't want to debate. God. Oh my God. All right, let's go to get that next. Guess loaded up with the box. Welcome into Sports Trump. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, do you support Trump?
No, I wanted to actually give you a little backup on that last caller. I was there. We destroyed all the equipment. That guy is a complete moron. I helped destroy the equipment before we left.
Damn, really?
Yes, I was in Afghanistan for 5 years. We destroyed all of the U.S. equipment and left behind the crap that they were supposed to take over when they took over the government. That caller is a complete moron. Sorry. I know
No.
you only want Trump supporters, but
I'm
that
not
guy's
mad.
a fool.
Yeah, I'm not mad that you joined in the slightest. I don't think I've ever been
I
more
was
okay
there.
with somebody breaking my rules. Well,
No joke, man. I was there.
I appreciate you for adding that on, and I hope you have a good rest of your day, okay?
Absolutely. See ya, buddy.
See ya. Damn, that's crazy. That's actually insane. I can't believe that. That's actually nuts.
How much do you bench press?
Age? How old are you? That's a kid. Moving on to the next guest. Only up inside of the queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president. That's actually nuts. That's funny as hell. I wish I would have known that, so then I could have brought him up. That is so fucking funny. That is unreal. We're going to get that next guest loaded up into the box right now. We got Reagan joining in right now. We got a couple of people to thank. Thank you for the $10. Yasmin. I want to see 100 Yasmin W's down below in that comment section. Yasmin with the 10 says, if I ever have to write a dissertation again for psych, I'll have to redo it on this phenomena in MAGA. They get proven wrong, heavily so, and immediately regress to the quote-unquote nuh-uh, you're stinky toddler mode. Dude, so real. It's embarrassing for them. As well as Harry. Harry, thank you so much for the 31 Australian dollar donation on Super Chat as well. Harry, that is beyond kind of you. Thank you so much. Happy Friday. I hope that you're having a good one. Harry with a 31 Australian dollar says, you're honestly the GOAT. Keep up the great work. I don't know how you do it. Sometimes I don't know how I do it either. I'm just going to be completely honest, okay? Especially with people like that last guest. It does get a bit hard, but, you know, we persevere. I appreciate you. And then we got one more here from Miss Sarah again with another $100 donation on Super Chat. That is Sarah's third $100 dono. I don't even know what to say. Sarah. Okay, you can stop now. We're good. That's enough. Thank you. I'm so grateful for you. Thank you so much, Sarah. Sarah with $100 says, you deserve every bit of this, guys. Can we please show some very extra special love to Sarah down below in the comment section? I'm just like lost for words, and I'm so very grateful for you. Thank you, Sarah. Show some love to the GOAT down below. I don't deserve it, Sarah, and I'm so very grateful for you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Welcome in. Do you support Trump? Sure, but how do you feel about his economic policy? No, that's a complete fucking lie. The jobs report was shit. Yeah, my source is the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Oh, don't give me that shit. No, people wanted to work. That's why we had 1.3 million layoffs. Dude, oh my God, slur to run. All right, bro, that guy's disgusting. We're going to get the next guest loaded up into the box right now. We got Mine Unlocked joining in. Health Inspector, thank you so much for the $5. He says, Chef Dean is cooking today. Thank you so much for the love. I appreciate you. Welcome in. Do you support Trump? I'm sorry. I'm feeling a little goofy today. All right. Health, that guest isn't here, so we're going to move on to the next guest. Only hop inside of the queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president. Please and thank you. Make sure that you're following the rules of the live stream. Here we go. We got Matthew connecting right now. On Venmo, thank you, Alexia, for the $10 dono. Show some love to Alexia down below. Alexia with the 10 says, Dean, thank you so much for speaking up for women's rights and not letting people make fun of your stutter. I have a very bad one where I just physically can't speak, and people love to say, spit it out. And it makes me so irritated. I love you. What you do, Dean? Well, thank you, Lexi. Yeah, you know, I did like a variant of speech therapy when I was a lot younger, and it's a lot better now. It's not as pronounced or noticeable. It definitely comes out more as I get more tired. You know, like later on in the stream, I'm probably stuttering a little bit more because it's a bit harder to control. But I'm sorry to hear that that's been your experience. That does suck. And I appreciate you for the $10, Lexi. Same thing to Mary. Thank you for the $10 as well. Let's get 100 Mary W's. I appreciate you. And then Parker with the $10 who says, finally caught a stream. Gonna dye my hair while I listen to my favorite show. Base, Parker. What color are you dyeing your hair? Let me know while we try to get that next Trump supporter loaded up in here. Guys, I'm being so real. We don't have like anybody to debate right now. I'm like kind of taken aback by the fact that there is just no one here. It's honestly kind of nuts. We're going to get that next guest loaded up into the box right now, folks. Everybody, only hop inside of that queue if you happen to be MAGA. Hi, welcome to D-Sport Trump.
Yo, I'm back, bro.
Who are you?
Oh, you don't remember me?
No. Who are you?
I don't know. I was in here the other morning.
Okay, how old are you?
18.
What year were you born in?
2007.
Did we debate?
We did a little bit. But I had some questions for you.
Okay, well, because I spoke to you like less than a couple days ago, I am gonna go to move on, but I hope you have a good rest of your day. Like I'll talk to people again, but if it was like literally yesterday, like unfortunately I'm gonna move on for now. We have a couple more people to thank here. Thank you, Sean.
Oh, Dean. Guess what? Wait, why are you such a brat? Genuinely. This is disgusting. You're such, I can't do this anymore. I'm gonna need to just, like, genuinely.
What did I do? I didn't say anything.
It's just your general demeanor is just so disgusting. I just, like, genuinely, I was watching a true crime documentary earlier, and this guy stole from a store, and you should, oh my gosh. Oh my god. Dean, I think it was you.
Banned. Moving on to the next guest, guys. Only hop inside of that queue if you're MAGA. I was in the middle thanking Sean. Sean, thank you so very much for the $30 donation on Venmo.
Roblox with me.
Get out of here. Sean, thank you so much for the $30. That is a huge donation, my friend, and I'm so very grateful for you. Thank you so much. Show some love to Sean down below. Thank you so very much for the love and support. Let's get 300 Sean W's while we're looking for that next guest. Sean, with the $30, says MAGA versus Source. Yeah, man, that last guy, it was embarrassing. He made a bunch of claims. He couldn't provide a source for one of them. Thank you so much for the $30, Sean. Welcome in. Do you support Trump?
No, just expose them.
All right, they're not here. Welcome in. I hate Dean. Do you support Trump?
No, Dean, I'm not sucking your feet. Yes, I do support Trump.
Get out of here. It's the same troll. Grace, thank you for the $8. I appreciate you, Grace. Then Maya, thank you for the 15. That is MYA. Maya with the 15 says, thank you for spending every day fighting ruthlessly through what feels like no hope in America. I'm a multiple-time survivor of SA. I'm sorry. And I finally got my conservative mind to begin to listen to your debates. Thank you from Maya. Well, Maya, I really hope that we're able to change her mind. You know, if there's ever a day where you actually want to get her on the live to debate, I'd love to talk to her. And thank you so much for the love and support. Welcome in. Do you support Trump?
I do.
How old are you?
I'm 18, born 207.
Okay. Sounds good. I think we got a couple others to thank. Then I'll pass the mic to you. Courtney, thank you for the $15 donation on Venmo. Thank you for supporting what we do. Then, of course, Dusty, thank you so much for the $50 donation, who says, thank you for continuing this exhausting fight on the daily. Dusty, I'm so happy to be here. I love what I do so much. If I won the lottery tomorrow, I'd still be doing these daily streams. Thank you so much for the $50 donation. That is beyond kind, and I'm so very grateful for you. Let's get 500 Dusty dubs down below in that comment section. Show some of the Dusty down below. Thank you. Same thing to Yaron and Brendan. I appreciate you guys for the $5. And with that, we're actually all caught up over on Venmo and Super Chat for now. I think that we have a couple people to thank on PayPal. And then I'll pass you that mic and the floor, my friend. On PayPal, thank you, SJ, for the $20 donation. Sorry, not $20, $25 donation. I appreciate you, SJ. SJ didn't leave a message, just sent that love. I hope that you're having a good day today, SJ. It's good to see you as always. Thank you for the $25. Same thing to Amanda with the $20, who says, I can confirm as the daughter of a lifelong CNC machinist that U.S. military equipment is built by private companies. Yes, that's just how it works. Thank you for the $20. Same thing to Connor. Thank you for the $6. Ariella, thank you for the 3. Then Morgan, thank you for the 10, who says you were truly amazing. Thank you, Morgan. And then Michael, thank you for the 5. And with that, we are all caught up. Dude, why the hell, okay, do you support the worst president of your life?
Of my life. Okay.
Yes.
Well, I think he has strong points. I do agree he is a pretty bad person, but
right.
I do think he is a good president because he's just very confident. He's a strong person. And I have a question. Like, do you support ICE? Or
No.
You don't support ICE. Can I ask why?
Because I don't think that we should support anybody or any institution that upholds a reckless disregard for law and life. And ICE upholds a reckless disregard for law and life. For life, well, I mean, they've just been executing citizens. Clear daylight, Renee Good, Keith Porter, Alex Preddy. Alex Preddy was a very clear situation. I mean, he was just shot in the back 12 times. Then the very next day, he was being called a terrorist violent gunman by the admin. And Kristi Noem came out swinging, saying that the people who killed him violated no department regulatory guidelines. So, reckless disregard for life, because that was murder. Reckless disregard for law is also clear. There's been department-wide memorandums to ICE agents from the head of the DHS authorizing them to arrest people with no judicial warrants. That's a violation of the 4th and 14th Amendment. A Colorado judge has already ruled on that, and they're actively trying to appeal it. Or Donald Trump's brazen attack on birthright citizenship to reclassify citizens with a constitutional claim to that as undocumented immigrants to be identified, detained, and deported by ICE, which is where the reckless disregard for law comes from.
Okay. That was a lot.
Okay, in a nutshell, I don't support them because they uphold reckless disregard for law and life.
I mean, yeah, sure. But of course, everything's going to have to come with, like, not everyone's going to be perfect. And
I'm not expecting them to be perfect. I'm just expecting them to not uphold, once again, a reckless disregard for law and life.
But then again, they also balance that out by doing good, because I don't think you would want illegal criminals that rape women and that kill people, sex traffic them. I don't think you'd want that in your country. I mean, would you?
No, I don't want undocumented immigrants that are guilty of very violent crimes to be here. I want them to be in jail, right? Okay.
Exactly.
Well, it seems like you actually supported the deportation efforts under previous Democratic administrations more than under Trump, because they definitely weren't optimal, but they did have a higher. Don't interrupt me. But they did have a higher. They did have a significantly higher focus on undocumented immigrants with violent crimes on their records compared to deportation efforts under Trump today. Under Trump today, okay, they've widened the scope of who they're going after to include all undocumented immigrants, including unaccompanied minors, and even some legal immigrants like asylum seekers. So clearly, when you widen that scope and you focus on everybody, including some legal immigrants, compared to a smaller group of people with those bad crimes on their records, you're going to inevitably, at the end of the day, deport less of those people with the bad crimes on their records. Not to mention that I don't believe you care about rape. I don't believe that you want to punish and condemn rapists and throw them out of the country because you made one president of the country.
So you're saying Trump is a racist?
I'm saying that Trump is a rapist. Well, and a racist, but what's relevant to this conversation is the fact that he's a rapist.
I don't think there's anything about he's a rapist.
Okay, well, it was only the ruling of a court.
I'd love for you to pull that up, please.
Like, pull up the jury verdict form?
I mean, yeah, you're always talking about citing your sources, so please go ahead.
Never mind, that's Parker's Jesus. That says criminal counselor. Man, I just gotta click through it. gotta click through a couple things here. So you saw the felony conviction form for the 34 felonies. You saw when he committed blasphemy and depicted himself as God.
Okay, I did see that. That was just outrageous. Like, I have to agree with you on that. That was just flat out.
There is a jury verdict form. Jury verdict form. Boom. There it is. Okay. Yeah. Here's a jury verdict form from a civil court that held Donald Trump civilly liable for sexually abusing a woman by the name of Miss Carroll. They said no to rape. The reason why I say this court determined him to have raped her is because they held him. They found him guilty for forcefully penetrating.
I mean, I think that's enough. Mr. Trump raped Miss Carroll? No. I think that's enough. I think.
Okay. Did I explain to you why you're wrong?
Okay. Sure.
Awesome. It's because the court found him guilty of forcefully penetrating a woman's vagina with his fingers against her will and without her consent. The reason why they said no to rape legally is because a legal definition of rape at the time was very strict and narrow. It was only the forceful penetration of a vagina with a penis. So because he forcefully penetrated her vagina with his fingers, it wasn't legally rape at the time, but that's how we colloquially use the word rape, and that's what their legal definition is today. So as long as you think that a man forcefully penetrating a woman's vagina with his fingers against her will and without her consent is rape, then you think that the court found him guilty of rape.
Oh, well, I believe in the law, so if the law said that back then that wasn't rape, then I guess it wasn't rape.
Okay, sounds good. How many enslaved black people were raped during slavery? Was it more than 0?
I wasn't there.
So you can't tell me that there was at least one slave ever raped?
I mean, was there? Do you know? Were you there back then?
Wow. Use your brain? Okay.
Use my brain.
So let's get this straight. These people were viewed as legal property. They were enslaved for the entirety of their lives. Their skin was used to make plants and light fixtures and clothing. All right. They believed that black women couldn't feel pain, so they could do whatever they wanted to them. There was often children that were born from the enslaved individuals, who were both white and black, because they would rape the enslaved individuals. White people ate black people and the enslaved individuals.
Oh.
So do you think that there was rape during
I mean,
hundreds of years of slavery? At least one person that was raped.
I'm not really.
They
I don't
literally
remember-
enslaved generations and generations of millions of black people. So over like hundreds of years, can we agree that there's at least one of these people that was raped?
Sure. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, there were a lot of people, I guess.
Okay.
But I mean, getting
Now,
off
did the
topic-
courts at the time ever consider the forceful penetration of the vagina of an enslaved black woman to be rape? No.
No, they didn't.
But yet they were raped because we don't define the word rape based on what the law says. We define the word rape based upon what we say, which has to do with unconsensual penetration of sexual organs, right?
Correct.
So because Donald Trump unconsensually penetrated E. Jean Carroll's sexual organ, i.e. her vagina, with his fingers, we can say that was rape. Even though the courts disagreed, the same way they disagreed with black women and men during slavery, the same way the courts disagreed with women who were married prior to the 1980s.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, but then again, Kamala, she did have open borders.
Then again, can
and
we agree that...
he didn't let.
Then
in
again, can we agree
many
that the court
illegal
determined that he raped her?
immigrants to-
Then again...
I thought we were interrupting.
I do
sorry.
interrupt people when they pivot.
Oh, when I pivot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then again, can we
how am I pivoting?
agree that the court determined he raped her?
Um,
Then again,
Sure.
you don't care about rape?
of course I do care about rape. Why would I?
Okay, so
want
now that
someone
you've
to get
agreed that
raped?
the court determined he raped her, you clearly don't support him anymore because rapists shouldn't be president, right?
I mean, clearly he's president. How'd he get up there if he raped someone?
Okay, so you don't think he could possibly become president if he raped somebody? What's the argument there?
I mean, that's what you're saying. I mean, like,
No, that's not what I'm saying. I think
You're
that
saying that he
rapists could be in
raped
positions of
someone-
power. Rapists are in
But
positions of
he's
power all
still
the
in
time.
power. He is
One of the
in
most
power, so
prolific
he-
child rapists that's lived since Hitler, okay, was like in a vast position of power, had access to billions of dollars, was hanging out with Prince Andrew, Donald Trump, Jeffrey Epstein, okay? Now you're like, what is this? Rapists can't get in positions of power? No, the reason why he was able to win the presidency, even though he's a rapist, is because fools like you aren't educated enough to know it. Fools like the last guest are educated enough to know it, but dispute it because they don't build their beliefs with evidence. And fools like, I don't know, maybe some of the other violent guests that we've had know it, believe it, but don't care or agree with it, all right? And those reasons, either willful ignorance, stupidity, or evilness, are exactly why Trump, a rapist, as adjudicated by a court, became president.
oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't really know what your argument was there, but I guess.
Oh, my argument was the reason why a rapist can become president is because of three primary reasons: evilness, willful ignorance, or stupidity. You either have to be stupid in the sense, okay, that you think like yourself and you just baselessly believe with no good reason that even though a court ruled he's a rapist, he couldn't be in a position of power if he was a rapist, therefore you don't believe the court. Or you have to be willfully ignorant, like the last guest and like yourself, where you acknowledge that a court ruled that he was a rapist, you acknowledge that occurred, but then you just pretend as if it didn't because of your willful ignorance. Or you have to be evil in the sense that you don't pretend like he didn't rape a woman, you just don't care that he raped a woman and you still vote for him. Okay, so once again, those are the three primary reasons why he's president, even though he raped a woman.
Okay. Well, clearly nobody cared enough, and that's why he's president, and that's why we voted for him. And
Okay, so I just want to clarify that MAGA is now owning the libs by saying you don't care enough about rape.
wait, can you repeat
That's how you're owning the libs, is just by saying that you don't care about rape.
How? When did I ever say I don't care about?
You just
rape?
said clearly, we didn't care
Because-
enough, and that's why we made him
because-
president. Right, and that's exactly why you're a fucking hypocrite. The first thing that you said when you joined this live is, I don't care that
gosh.
ICE upholds a reckless
your
disregard
veins are
for law
pumping
and
in your
life.
head. Oh
Pipe
my-
down. And that's exactly why when you first joined this live, you said, I don't care that ICE upholds a reckless disregard for law and life. I don't care that ICE is executing people in broad daylight. I don't care that they're deporting unaccompanied minors. I don't care that they're deporting legal immigrants. I don't care that Trump is infringing on the Constitution. The reason why you said you don't care is because of all the undocumented immigrants that have raped women, and how it's okay to just toss the Constitution out the window. It's okay to illegally deport innocent kids. It's okay to kill people as long as we're also deporting the people who rape women because we care about rape. But now, when it's Trump, and I give you damning evidence he's a rapist, court ruling is pretty damn convincing, right? You say explicitly that you don't care enough about rape. It's unreal. It is a level of hypocrisy that I don't think we'll see for the rest of our lifetimes, folks. For all the reasonable people out there, once we get Trump out of politics, this level of hypocrisy, this level of insanity will be documented in the history books, taught to your great-grandchildren about the modern America dark age, right? It needs to be studied, and it needs to be called out, which is why I do this every day, and why Liam is in a bit of a tricky situation. So why don't you go ahead and take it away and explain your brazen hypocrisy?
Well, I'd like to go back to when you said why ICE shooters are killing people in broad daylight. Or I'm saying, like, they're not killing them for no reason. Obviously, they're giving them a reason to. Would you say that the people that got killed from ICE, would you say that had a reason to kill them?
No, I wouldn't. And we could talk about that as soon as you address your brazen hypocrisy.
My brazen hypocrisy about how I don't care about rape?
Yeah, about how you claim
about?
that you don't care about the fact that Donald Trump is a rapist enough. You still support him as president, yet you argued that you'll still support ICE even if they uphold reckless disregard for law and life because you care so much about deporting
Trump.
rapists.
I don't support the fact that he raped someone. I feel like that's what you're mixing up.
Okay. Well, see, the thing is you're telling us that you support Trump. Trump is a rapist. Okay, so you support a rapist, but you don't support the fact that the rapist is a rapist. That's really incoherent.
I don't support that one action. I mean, he's made plenty other actions that benefit.
Oh, you just don't support that one time he raped a woman, but all the other ones are fine. Can we agree that rapists should be sent to jail for the rest of their lives?
Yeah, I do. I could.
So Trump should be sent to jail for the rest of his life?
Sure, but clearly he's in power.
Okay, well, so if you think that he should be sent to jail for the rest of his life, do you think that he should be president from jail?
Well, now that he's done actually good for his country, I guess his bad actions made up for it.
Oh, wait, so you don't think that he should be sent to jail for the rest of his life?
No, I don't.
So you think that some rapist should walk free with no legal accountability? Because
Maybe
you said that he's made up. You said that he's made up for it. Well, he hasn't made up for it through any sense of accountability. He was calling for his rape victim to be thrown to jail like less than a year ago. All right? So I just want to clarify that you think rapists should be roaming free on the streets of this country.
No, I think they should be taken
If you
care
don't
of.
think that rapists should be roaming free in the streets of this country, then you think that Donald Trump should go to jail.
Yeah, I think he should be punished. I think everyone should be punished for for raping someone, but maybe not for the rest of their lives.
So not for the rest of their lives?
Yeah.
Do you think that people should go to jail for life for murder?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so why should people go to jail for life for murder, but not jail for life for rape?
Is raping taking the life of someone?
I'd argue that rape is either just as wrong as murder or worse than murder.
Okay, go ahead. Explain.
Sure. Well, I mean, I think the argument that rape is just as wrong as murder is really easy to make, okay? Because you are completely changing the trajectory of an individual's future life experiences. Not only is rape the worst infringement that you could make unto an individual in the moment in which the rape occurs, but then they live a life full of trauma and responses to said trauma. You completely ruin somebody's life. So there's the argument that it'd be just as wrong as murder. Now, the argument that it's worse than murder, of course, is the fact that, well, when you kill somebody, well, you just have the violent visceral action ending with the cessation of their heartbeat. But the violence and the visceral nature of rape does not end with the retraction of the penis from a vagina, but rather it lives with an individual for another 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years. It is a persistent pain. It is a persistent violence that does not go away, unlike the violence of murder for one life.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with that. But like my question is if Trump truly raped
Right.
someone,
Also, like
then-
another thing is like intention. You could like accidentally kill somebody, which would be the accidental murder, because I define murder as the unjustified termination of a human life. Legally, that's defined as manslaughter. But you can't accidentally rape somebody.
Okay, I agree. But I would like to say, if Trump truly did rape someone, why has nothing been done about it? Why is he in office then?
Well, I showed you the jury verdict form. I showed you the fact that now he's forced to pay financial consequences upward of $87 million. But the requirements to serve as president, okay, don't disallow somebody from running the country given that they're a rapist. In fact, you just have to be born here of the age of 35 and not guilty of legal treason in accordance with the definition given to us by the 14th Amendment.
Okay,
So
then,
ultimately, he's
if
president
he
now, even
did
though he's a
his
rapist,
deed-
because you voted for him.
If he did his deed, then I don't understand what's the problem.
What's the problem with making a rapist president? You sick
No, I'm
fuck.
just joking.
You,
I'm
dude,
rage
yeah,
baiting
you're
you.
just,
I'm
oh,
rage
you're just,
baiting you.
oh,
Calm
you're
down.
just rage baiting. Oh yeah, just calm down, because I have some little fucking boy saying, "What's the problem with raping women?" No, that's a really good joke, bro. Really good one. I mean, you really got the
just
crowd
like your
laughing.
kinky joke. That was funny.
Oh yeah, it was funny when I insinuated that a man liked to get his chest shit on by women after he called me a girl. Then I said, "Why? Because I'm shitting on you." It's
It
not
was funny.
funny when you
Yeah, no,
insinuate
degrading on people
that there's
is
no
funny.
problem with raping women.
Degrading on people is funny. It truly shows how insecure you are. That you have to make fun of someone to get a laugh. You know. Truly shows.
Oh wait, so I just want to clarify. I'm insecure because a misogynist called me a little girl when I whipped him in a debate. So then I turned around and said, "So you're calling me a little girl because I'm shitting on you?" And then I made a great connection between metaphorically shitting on him in a debate and literally having a woman shit on his chest. So then I degraded him for
Well,
liking to
then
get
again,
shit on.
you did call him
Yeah,
a
like
little
this
girl in
is
the first
crazy, bro.
place.
Just calm down. We understand that you're a rape apologist. We understand that you don't care about the women and girls in your lives, and we understand that if your mommy heard the way that you're speaking right now, she'd fucking spank you hard as shit, dude.
Oh, I'm sure
Oh my
she
god,
would.
you'd be getting the chancla.
you're
You'd
the
be
only
getting
one-
tossed to the curb.
Oh, wow,
You'd be
that
getting
is
tossed to the
racist.
curb, right? Actually,
Oh,
can you
wow.
please
So
go
Dean is
get
a
your
racist,
mom?
everyone.
What did I say that was racist?
Wow, you just said I'm gonna get hit with the chancla.
What's
Assuming that I'm
racist about
Mexican.
that?
Assuming that I'm Mexican? Why can I get hit with the belt? Why can I get hit with my mom's
Wait,
hand?
what? Wait, there's nothing. There's
Also, what I would
nothing.
like
There's nothing mutually exclusive with Mexicans and chanclas. I just grew up with a bunch of Mexican friends, and they're always telling me about the chancla. Like, I mean, my like for your information, my best friend growing up was Mexican, and I spent a lot of time with them, with their family, and so on and so forth. So that's where I get that from. But there's nothing exclusive about that to Mexicans, and there's nothing racist about me saying that your mama might hit you with a chancla because you're up here defending rape.
Okay, but also about like the guy that was, like the shit thing. You were calling him Lil Bro in the first place, so you kind of.
What are you doing? Yeah, because he was an idiot, just like you. Yeah, calm down, little bro. Now, can you please respond to the fact that your mom would be very upset with you if she heard the way that you're talking about how funny it is to make jokes about raping women?
I am. Okay, I guess. I'm making jokes about raping women.
Yeah. Look, we're gonna go to get that idiot out of here. I mean, that's where MAGA's at, everybody. Just like explicitly making jokes about raping women. I want this to. I want this to be taken seriously. All right. I need this to be taken seriously. The fact that this is horrifying. Okay. This is horrifying. This is so horrifying. Figures out his president is a rapist, and then explicitly says that he finds it funny to rape women, and he makes jokes about raping women. This is horrifying. This is like, this is why. This is why it is so important for us to have a president who's not a rapist. Because one consequence of having a president who is a rapist is the normalization of rape culture. And that's something that I speak about very frequently. And that's an example of the normalization of rape culture that takes place under the Trump administration. We have a president, people like him, he's a rapist. How do they consolidate the fact that they like him and the fact that he's a rapist? by normalizing rape, making jokes about it, calling it funny, and not caring. So now all of a sudden, women and girls are what? Objects. All right? Like, that's just the conclusion. Women are objects. You can do whatever you want to them. You could rape them, and you could laugh. And it's horrifying. It is legitimately mortifying. We're going to go to get that next guest loaded up into the box right now. Only up inside of that queue if you happen to be MAGA. Oh, Chris, you remember how angry you were when I was talking to you on Parker's Live?
I wasn't angry. I wasn't angry at all.
Your mic sucks, buddy. Can you just talk through your phone mic? I understand that you got some other shit plugged in right now. It's just really low volume.
Oh, let me turn it up. Is that better? Is that good?
I mean...
Can you hear me now, Dane? Can you hear me now, Dane?
We would hear you better if you just spoke through your phone mic, but if you want to be extra, whatever.
I am being extra. I just got a new setup today, so I'm trying to figure it out right here and now. Okay. And you called me the Dean Withers of the right. That was almost an honor.
No, I think I said you're trying to be the Dean Withers of the right, and it's not.
No, you didn't say try. You said this guy is the Dean Withers of the right. You said that specifically.
Clearly, there's going to be a little bit more context there. Don't know what it is because I don't remember it because you're pretty unimportant.
Okay, well, trying to break down my moral fiber isn't going to work. But anyways, if you want to have an actual debate, that's what I'm here for, sir.
Okay. Would you stop supporting Trump as president if he had sexually exploited naked women?
This is the only topic that I don't debate. I don't believe he should have walked into a woman's dressing room.
So would you stop supporting him as president if he did that?
No, because there's context that's required to that, but I say that what he did was wrong to walk into a woman's dressing room, and that's the only debate topic that I don't defend. That's the one thing that I don't agree with Donald Trump. I'm not a fanatic that agrees with everything he's done, absolutely. But I think his policy overrides things that I disagree with. I mean, I'm not an insane right-leaning nutbag that says that everything Trump does is good.
Okay, if Jeffrey Epstein ran for president with Trump's policy, would you vote for Jeffrey Epstein?
Absolutely not. Jeffrey Epstein had an island where he took advantage of children. Right. Trump did not have any involvement in that whatsoever.
Perfect. Awesome. So, I disagree with you, but that's not the point of this conversation. The point of this conversation is to assert...
That's what the DOJ clearly showed.
No, I also disagree with you there. But regardless of that, the point that I'm trying to prove here is, okay, you've told us that, no, you wouldn't vote for Jeffrey Epstein, even if you ran on Trump's policy, because Jeffrey Epstein's character would override the policy in which you'd run on. Okay, so perfect. The question is, where does your line fall? Why is not just sexually exploiting naked women by barging into their dressing rooms and looking at their naked bodies, but then also then running to a public radio, laughing about it, calling it funny, and talking about how proud he was about it, right? Not sufficiently morally wrong to overrule his quote-unquote policy.
Because ultimately, I think it requires context. I mean, I was in the military, for an example, and the locker room talk that I had that wasn't on the radio was a lot more disgraceful than what Donald Trump has talked about. So I think the context as a man is that he ultimately was talking like an idiot on a radio show, and he shouldn't have done that. And so that's the only context that I have to that. I don't agree with going in a locker room. This is the one thing that I don't agree with Trump. But I believe his policy and ultimately the left-leaning machine that was going after him was more important to be dismantled by a man who could do it and couldn't be controlled. And that's why I voted for Donald Trump, is because he was the only person who could take down that machine.
Okay. So first thing I'll say here is I think at the beginning of that statement you've said that you've said worse. So have you admitted to something worse than sexual exploitation in a locker room, like rape?
No, I absolutely haven't, but I've been more vulgar about, partying and doing things while I was intoxicated that I shouldn't have done in my younger years. I mean, I've done some pretty dumb things, and ultimately, all I'm saying
Well, I
is
mean-
men say dumb things all the time, but
Well,
he said
I
something
mean-
dumb on a radio TV show.
So your argument is men admit to sexual violence all the time.
That's not sexual violence. That's a man who literally walked into a dressing room.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not saying what he did was right, but
So
literally
it
it was
is
just
sexual
a dude
violence.
being a dude. It's not sexual violence.
Wow.
Nobody was assaulted there.
Wow. Okay.
Were there any?
So
did anybody
the
press any
definition-
charges against him, sir?
So you said it wasn't sexual violence. We'll get into the charges, but the definition of sexual violence is just any sexual act that's not consented to. Okay? And the sexual act that took place that wasn't consented to was him infringing on their expectation of reasonable privacy and position of vulnerability with the abuse of his position of power to then look at their naked bodies and then go describe it all to Howard Stern when he was asked about the sexual things he do with the pageant contestants. Because that is a sexual act that was done unconsensually, thereby, by definition, it's sexual violence. And I hate this is a dude being a dude approach. I hate this is something all men do. Because essentially, what you're telling me...
I never said this is something
and
all
what you're
men
telling,
do, sir.
You did.
I said that all men have done dumb things, and this was a dumb thing that Donald Trump did and
Exactly.
then talked about.
If you try to
I'm not here to
categorize
defend-
this
I'm not
thing
here to defend this
in a
action.
category of the dumb things that all men do, well, then you're saying one of the dumb things that all men will do is sexual violence. Like, no.
I never said all men, and you're saying sexual violence. That's completely ridiculous.
Then respond to
It
the
was
argument
not
I gave you to
sexual
prove it
violence.
was.
Sir, your argument was so stupid, I'm not going to
Why?
repeat it because it was dumb. You're literally saying it was sexual violence.
Yeah.
He walked into a dressing room. I'm saying
Because it
that
was
was
dumb.
wrong, and I'm not going
If
to
it was
defend his
dumb,
actions.
then why can't you defeat it? So usually
Because
arguments
I don't
that we
debate
can't
something
defeat.
that I don't believe in, and I
aren't
don't
dumb.
believe what he did was right.
Yeah,
This
but
is
you're
one
telling
thing that
me.
Donald J. Trump has done that I don't believe
But
in.
we have a disagreement because I'm claiming it was sexual violence, and you're claiming it wasn't sexual violence. Then I'm giving you an argument that it was sexual violence, and you're refusing to address it. So I'll ask you at this moment in time to please address the argument I gave you that concludes it is sexual violence. And in your response, oh, your argument's dumb. All right, that should just make it easier for you to debunk it. Because dumb arguments can
but
be debunked easily.
I don't want to have this debate because this is something I don't agree with that he did, and I clearly stated that.
So then
And
acknowledge that
I
it's sexual violence and we don't have to have it.
It was not sexual violence.
So it seems like
Pull
we
up
have
the-
to have that debate.
Pull up not your absurd definition of sexual violence. Bring up the dictionary, Oxford definition of sexual violence, please.
So the definition of sexual violence according to the World Health Organization is any sexual act.
No, the Oxford dictionary, not some left-slanted organization, sir.
So you reject the definition of sexual violence as given by the WHO because they're left slanted.
The WHO is not the Oxford dictionary. I'm asking for the Oxford dictionary definition.
The issue with
And I
that
think
is that
that's reasonable.
the Oxford dictionary defines words, not phrases. Sexual violence is a phrase comprised of 2 words. So that's why when we look to define what a phrase such as sexual violence means, we're going to be looking towards the World Health Organization. We're going to be looking towards the CDC. We're going to be looking towards DV shelters. We're going to be looking towards anti-rape advocate groups like the National Sexual Violence Research Center. Okay? You know, like according to the National Sexual Violence Research Center, the definition of sexual violence is, and I quote, a sexual act that is committed or attempted by another person without freely given consent of the victim. Right? So that's the definition that I use. And it just boils down to any unconsensual sexual act. And the reason why the definition of sexual violence is so broad encompassing is because sexual violence is an umbrella phrase used to refer to any type of sexual misconduct, ranging from rape to sexual assault to sexual abuse, okay, to sexual exploitation like what Donald Trump engaged in. It is any unconsensual sexual act.
It is not a sexual act to walk into a dressing room. And again, This is not something that I sit around and debate about. I already admitted that I think what he did was wrong and what he said was wrong. And then I said that because of his policy, that's why I support him, number one. And number two, the left-leaning Democratic institution that was up against him, that literally used lawfare against him, that used all kinds of things I can't talk about on TikTok against him. And ultimately, he was the only person who could take that down. And I think that Trump was the only person that I wanted to vote for at the time. And so him doing one dumb thing, which wasn't sexual violence, it was a dumb thing that he did, resulted in taking 3.5 billion people who were committing fraud off of food stamps. That was $7 billion saved. The big, beautiful bill, the Golden Dome, destroyed Iran's nuclear capability. He captured Venezuela Maduro, reduced VA backlog by 67%, housed 51,000 homeless veterans, created 34 new facilities for veterans. Core CPI is down to 2.5%, GDP growth of 0.7%, unemployment of 4.4%, 18% S&P return, 3 million deportations, 21% drop in homicide rate last year in the U.S. alone. That's the lowest it's been dropped in 50 years. And then I agree with executive orders like 14168. I mean, what's your critique on Executive Order 14168?
Okay. So you're likely going to have to repeat 90% of everything you just said once we're done having a conversation about if what Donald Trump did was sexual violence. So I believe in linear dialogue. And inside of linear dialogue, you go point by point. And we had not finished the point that Donald Trump was guilty of sexual violence by barging into the dressing rooms of the women and girls at the beauty pageants in which he owned. And instead, you just kind of vomited like a bunch of random, quote unquote, facts, right? So I'll happily respond to all those random, quote unquote, facts. I mean, that's what I do on live on a daily, so that's fine. But let's make sure that we are engaging in linear dialogue, which would consider going point by point. Okay? So the only thing that you said in that last address that was relevant to my claim that Donald Trump engaged in sexual violence was that you don't think the action of going into the dressing rooms was sexually violent because you don't think it was a sexual act. Okay, so we know it was a sexual act. All right? It's self-explanatory. If you seek out the naked bodies of women to then look at them, oogle them, and then run away and tell your buddy about how great they looked, you're engaging in a sexual act. But my second point here is that Donald Trump said this was a sexual act. The premise that Howard Stern had requested from Donald Trump on that radio show that ultimately led to Trump's admission of guilt was surrounding, well, Donald Trump, what are the sexual things that you've done with the beauty pageant contestants? And then Donald Trump responded by saying, well, look, what I'll tell you is I'll walk into these dressing rooms, right? So not only can we understand how this was a sexual act with the use of common sense, but we could also understand that this was a sexual act because that was the context of the conversation in which Donald Trump referenced this in.
There is no dictionary definition of sexual assault, sexual act. You keep using this strange term that's not even in the dictionary to describe your argument.
Because the dictionary doesn't define phrases, it defines words. Sexual act and sexual violence are phrases. I don't know how else to help you there.
Okay, maybe why don't you look at the way DOJ categorizes sexual assault and sexual violence? That might be a good place to start.
Well, I don't think the DOJ would define sexual violence because sexual violence isn't a crime. The individual types of sexual violence are crimes.
Okay,
so
well, let's
like
look at
the
how
DOJ would pursue sexual assault. The DOJ would pursue sexual harassment. The DOJ would pursue rape. The DOJ would pursue all these things, right? But like sexual violence isn't a crime. That's just an umbrella term that we use
that you created for the sake of this argument.
No, I did not create the phrase sexual violence. And honestly, if the first time you've ever heard the phrase sexual violence is watching my lives, you have been, what's the word here? Criminally underinformed in your life.
I'm criminally uninformed for not watching your lives all the time? That's insane.
No, I said that you're criminally uninformed if the first time that you've heard the phrase sexual violence is on my live.
I've never heard the term sexual violence. I've heard sexual assault.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's unbelievable, man. Like, honestly, thank you for like describing the issue, because this honestly helps me get a better understanding of why people turn out like you. All right, like, okay, right? If we're creating this society where we have grown fucking men like Chris, who's 30s, 40s maybe, and they don't even know what sexual violence is because they've never heard that like slew of words before. We have an epidemic of sexual violence on our hands. You know, what made exploitation so easy for so long in the history of humanity was ensuring that people didn't have the right words to describe the exploitation. Because if you don't have the words to describe the exploitation, well then how do you like organize, form a coalition to then fight the exploitation? Because you don't know how to communicate that to one another. And apparently, we don't live in a society where everybody knows what sexual violence is. That's a big problem.
Sir,
now, I am happy that I could describe the basics to you.
Does assault sound like violence to you? So I'm looking at the exact legal definition of sexual assault by the DOJ right now. It says the term sexual assault means any non-consensual sexual act prescribed by federal, tribal, or state law, including when the victim lacks capability to consent. It has to be a physical act.
Wait, where does it say that? Where does it say it has to be physical? In the definition you just gave, where does it say it has to be physical?
Because assault has to take place.
Okay, but you just said that the DOJ defines the term sexual assault as any unconsensual sexual act.
Assault is literally in the legal language.
But you just said that the legal definition of sexual assault is any yes or no? Did you just say that the legal definition of the phrase sexual assault is any unconsensual sexual act?
Let me read it again. The term sexual assault means, so this isn't the actual definition, I'm sorry, hold on. Give me legal.
Dude, goddamn!
Definition of
damn!
Sexual.
Well, wow. Honestly,
that's not the way DOJ. I'm sorry.
No, I just found it.
No, hold on. I'm pulling up.
Wait. I just found it. Wait. I just found exactly what you're reading off of. Let's just look at it together. Okay, this is from the justice.gov office. One moment. This is the justice.gov office on violence against women. I'll also show this on YouTube. Now, if we read what sexual assault is according to the justice.gov office against violence of women, it literally says that the term sexual assault means any unconsensual sexual any non-consensual sexual act. It's prescribed by federal, tribal, or state law, including when the victim lacks the capacity to consent. Wow. Okay, that's crazy. Dang. Honestly, I always took sexual assault to be like sexual misconduct that included physical touch. That's the way that I've always understood the phrase sexual assault. Would be sexual misconduct that includes physical touch, which is why I've never called what Donald Trump did to these women sexual assault, right? But hey, I guess you're actually teaching me something new here, because according to the DOJ, sexual assault is just any unconsensual sexual act. Wow. So it looks like, according to this DOJ website, Trump sexually assaulted them.
You know there was no sexual act inside of that dressing room. You're totally twisting this.
So the sexual act that occurred inside of the dressing room was him seeking out the naked bodies of the women to then look at the naked bodies of the women to then take gratification away from looking at the naked bodies of the women. This is what Donald Trump said on the radio show. He said that they'd be standing there with no clothes on and they look great. And he actually gave this as an example of something sexual that he would do with the pageant contestants when prompted by Howard Stern. So it's like, not only can we understand that this was sexual in nature because of the use of common sense, but we could also understand that this is sexual in nature because Donald Trump said it was sexual in nature. This was Donald Trump's response to a request to a description of the sexual things that he do with the pageant. Do you want to listen to the clip? Like, no, I'm being honest. I'm being honest. The context for this clip is Howard Stern asking Donald Trump about the sexual things that he do with the beauty pageant contestants. You know what? Fuck it. Why don't we just go ahead and listen to that together real quick so I can show you
sexual. Oh my god.
That was the prompt. Buddy, that was the prompt. Let me show you, Chris.
Having this conversation
because you continue to deny that it was a sexual act. You continue to deny that it was sexual exploitation.
He didn't do anything sexual, sir, and you know it.
He said that this was a sexual thing that he did because that was the prompt. Okay, that's what Howard Stern prompted him to tell to him. I'll let you listen. Like we're gonna listen to like the whole like 2 minutes of context. I don't think you've heard the whole clip.
I have heard the whole clip, and that's why I thought it was
meeting
wrong.
The girls is that one of them comes.
You have fantastic hair.
Well, you're a powerful man, right? Right? You're a powerful man.
Right.
I want to sleep with you. Now, you're not the type that would say no.
I don't want to hurt their feelings.
Right. No, but I mean, you see a beautiful woman, you want to have that. You're a guy who likes to have everything, right?
Well, couldn't that be construed, however, as
conflict?
Yes.
Well, I don't see it as a conflict.
It could be a conflict of interest, but it's the kind of thing you worry about later.
Oh, I see.
Okay, so Howard Stern is talking to Donald Trump about doing sexual things like having sex with the beauty pageant contestants. And now they're talking about if like Donald Trump would be experiencing a conflict of interest if he were to do sexual things with the beauty pageant contestant. But you said it wasn't a sexual act, which is what we're talking about. And now like Donald Trump is saying like, oh, well, there's maybe a conflict of interests that he has to worry about later if he was to do sexual things with the beauty pageant contestants, like having sex with them.
Think about the conflict a little bit later on.
The question is, how can it not be construed?
No, I mean, some of these foreign girls, Mr. Trump, in my country, we say hello with vagina. And,
well, you could also say, as the owner of the pageant, it's your obligation to do that.
So you have...
And then, Howard Stern continues to talk about the women, greeting him with their vaginas, sexual action, sex. And then Donald Trump says, well, it's actually like your obligation as the business owner to do that. Okay? To come to the quote unquote demands of these women to engage in sexual things. I'm going to tell you in a moment. Okay. And then after Donald Trump says he has an obligation to do sexual things with these beauty pageant contestants, they're greeting him with their vaginas. If a woman came up to him, asked to sleep with him, what would he say? Conflict of interests. Then Howard Stern says, quote unquote, so you have done that. Okay. Right. Which is then Howard Stern asking Donald Trump about the sexual things that he's done with the beauty pageant contestants.
I've done that. Now,
I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage.
And then Howard Stern says, so tell me about one of these sexual things that you've done with the beauty pageant contestants. And then Donald Trump goes on to describe, the sexual thing of going back there and looking at their great naked bodies. Now, you asked me a question there. You said, well, why are we talking about this? You've said it's wrong. Well, it's because you said it wasn't a sexual action, and you said that it wasn't sexual violence. So the reason why we're still talking about this is me attempting to convince you that it was a sexual action, because that's what Donald Trump said it was. That's what Donald Trump was describing it as. That's the request that Howard Stern had made to him to tell him about one of the sexual things that he's done with the beauty pageant contestants. Okay? And it's sexual violence because sexual violence as an umbrella just contains any unconsensual sexual act. Right? So on the base level, this would be voyeurism, okay? Unconsensually looking at people while they're naked. That's voyeurism. But because to engage in this variant of voyeurism, he abused his position of power as the owner of the pageant and their position of vulnerability, okay? Because the expectation of privacy to then get naked in this space, it is bumped up from just voyeurism to exploitation. Because in order to engage in this voyeurism of unconsensually looking at the naked bodies of other people, he has to abuse his position of power. So now, in consideration of these facts, I've now described to you very simply how this was sexual, and I've described very simply how this was sexual violence. So do you understand now?
I understand, and I agree that it's voyeurism, but you were so intellectually dishonest, I don't even know how to engage with you. I've already said this is wrong. I don't debate that this was right.
Sexual act.
And you're trying to pull me in to being some kind of defender of this action by being so intellectually dishonest that it's hard to have a serious conversation with you.
This is where you leave.
No, I'm not leaving. I'm telling you
Okay.
that this is wrong. I want to
But
have.
you said it wasn't a sexual act, and
real
you said it
debate.
wasn't sexual violence.
I'm not even going to respond to that. It's so intellectually dishonest.
Why
that
is
you're
it
saying that.
intellectually
I'm not-
dishonest?
It is 100%, and
Why?
I'm not going to give it any
Why is
more
it
of my
intellectually
time.
dishonest?
Dean,
Can you just
know it
describe
is.
to me why?
All you're trying to do is literally pull me into something I already said was wrong.
No, I'm just
You're
trying to
get me
prove you wrong because you said it's wrong, but it's not sexual violence. It's wrong, but it wasn't a sexual
I
act.
don't care what you say at this point. It's so intellectually dishonest.
Why is it intellectually dishonest?
Because you asked me a question why I voted for Donald Trump. I gave you a huge list of things.
Yeah.
and
No,
that's the reason
actually,
I voted
you
for it.
gave the huge list of things after I asked you why you don't think that it was sexual violence. That, like, I literally said, Chris, this is sexual violence. You said, Dean, no, it's not sexual violence. Then I said, Chris, tell me why it's not sexual violence. And he said, well, it's not sexual violence because it wasn't a sexual act. And then you said, well, GDP growth, job growth, real median wage growth, war in Iran, DNC deep state lawfare, so on and so forth, right? And I told you that I'd address all those points as soon as we could close the chapter on the first point that we were discussing, which was, of course, the claim that you made that this wasn't sexual violence. This wasn't a sexual act. And now you're just telling me that I'm being intellectually dishonest.
You are.
Because
And I'm not
I
gonna
want to
address
hold you to the first point that you made that you can't defend. Honestly, you're being intellectually dishonest by trying to convince me that there's
Now
some
you're gaslighting me,
unforeseen.
Dean.
I'm not gaslighting you because I could actually describe how and why you're being intellectually dishonest compared to yourself. You're being intellectually dishonest and you're projecting that claim when you make it against me because you're trying to point towards some elusive, vague reason why you don't have to respond to my explanation on how this was sexual violence or how this was a sexual act because you've already said it's wrong. Wait, okay. That doesn't mean that you don't have to respond to the fact that it's sexual violence or that it was a sexual act because although you did say it's wrong, you claimed it wasn't sexual violence and you claimed it wasn't a sexual act. You're being intellectually dishonest by saying I'm being intellectually dishonest because instead of focusing on the other 10 points that you made about the economy, war, and the DNC deep state and lawfare, I'm focusing on this one point of sexual violence. Oh, wait, no, that's not me being intellectually dishonest because I made the point about it being sexual violence first, and then you pivoted away from that point by giving me your 10 other reasons why you support Trump. So now that we understand there's no intellectual dishonesty in this conversation from my end, please address the reasons I gave you insofar as why it is a sexual act and why it is sexual violence.
I'm not going to even address it anymore. It's so intellectually dishonest. It's a moot point. It's ridiculous. I've already told you that I don't agree with what he did, and the reason I voted for Donald Trump are many.
Okay.
If you want to discuss,
I want you to give me. I'm gonna write down what you say. Finish the
Okay.
sentence. My request for you to respond to the reasons why it's sexual violence and why it's a sexual act is intellectually dishonest because
you're straw manning me. You're trying to pull me in to being a defender of something that I already told you that I disagree with, that I thought was wrong, and I don't debate it. And I told you I don't agree with everything Donald Trump has done. I wouldn't have walked into a woman's dressing room, and I certainly wouldn't have gone onto a radio show and talked about it. And you're creating this intellectually dishonest argument that's trying to pull me in to defend those actions because I think you know that I would ultimately dog walk you on real policy issues. And this is a sick conversation that you're even having and pulling me into, and it's not even anything I want to engage with. I want to have real policy discussions. So let's talk about things like the big beautiful bill, what he's done for veterans, what he did in Iran. This is what I came here to talk about. I literally prefaced, I don't agree with what he did. I don't debate it, but I voted for Trump because of his policy issues. So let's talk about policy and things that really matter.
Okay, Chris, if everything that you just said was true, you're right, I would be engaging in intellectual dishonesty. All right? Your description of why you think I'm being intellectually dishonest with you is because I'm strawmanning you and I'm pulling you into defending things that you don't actually defend. If that was true, I would be engaging in intellectual dishonesty. But it's false. The definition of a strawman fallacy is where somebody misrepresents or fabricates an opponent's argument to make it easier to attack. I'm not misrepresenting your argument. You made the claim that it was not sexual violence. You made the claim that it was not a sexual act. So when I'm responding to those two claims, there's no misrepresentation because you made them fair and square. So
again, you're being
the reasons that you're
dishonest. Do you
no,
want to have a
I'm
real
not.
talk about
I'm not.
policy,
I'm
yes
not.
or
I'm not. I'm
no?
not. I'm not. Because you
Do
gave
you,
the
yes or
reason.
no?
You
Just
gave the reason why you think I'm being intellectually dishonest. You said it's because I'm strawmanning you. I just described how I'm not strawmanning you. If your argument from the beginning was that this is wrong, okay, this is sexual violence, this was a sexual act, and then I responded by saying, oh, Chris, so why don't you think it was sexual violence? Why don't you think it was a sexual act? I would be strawmanning you, and I would be engaging in intellectual dishonesty, and you would be right. But that's not the case. That's not the case. You said clearly that this was not sexual violence. You said that this was clearly not a sexual act. Okay? And like, Chris, you continue to say, oh, Dean, well, debate me on these other things. Sure, as soon as you stop avoiding this, right? I don't allow people, okay, to circumvent around a claim that they made because they can't defend it. And that's exactly what you're trying to do right now. You're saying, Dean, debate me in policy and move on because I made a shitty claim that hurts women and girls, victims of sexual violence, that I can't defend. You know what I have to say to that? Womp fucking womp. Either defend it or concede it. Those are the only two ways to push this conversation into one about Trump's policy. Is for you to defend the claim you made, this was not sexual violence, this was not a sexual act, or concede the claim you made. This was not sexual violence, this was not a sexual act. And I want to make this clear for the audience, because you've begun to convince a couple people in the comment section. I'm seeing them saying, Dean, I love you, but just move on. This isn't what he wanted to talk about. Womp fucking womp to yourself as well. Unlike this fool, I care about victims of sexual violence, and I care about ensuring that we don't have full-grown men running around claiming that it's not sexually violent and it's not a sexual act in the slightest for a man to abuse his position of power to barge into a dressing room to look at the naked bodies of women and girls. He made the claim and he didn't have to. And we can move on. We could be talking about Trump's policy 10 seconds from now. All that it would require is a Dean, you're right. It was sexual violence. It was a sexual act. And I was wrong when I said otherwise. We could be talking about policy in 10 fucking seconds. But he doesn't want to move on.
Dean, let me give you an example of what you're doing. Remember when there was the big scandal about Harris giving fellatio to a man and people were saying that's how she moved up? It would be the same equivalent if I was telling you what she did to him was considered sexual violence, and then you saying, no, it's not. I don't even want to talk about it. I don't agree with what she did. Oh, no, but Dean, you're a pervert for ultimately supporting sexual violence. You're creating this ridiculous argument against Donald Trump, one that I didn't even want to have. And the only reason I'm never going to concede to this is because it's so intellectually dishonest and not even worth my time to respond to anymore.
Because it's so dumb and ridiculous. Because it's so dishonest, dumb, and ridiculous.
Do you want to have
let me explain to the analogy that you just made.
Yes or no?
The analogy that you just gave was not equivalent, okay? Because you did give an example of making a dumb, ridiculous argument that something is sexual violence when it isn't. Okay, but if you made that dumb, ridiculous argument, if you told me that it was sexual violence when Kamala Harris gave a dude to BJ, all right, then I said, no, it's not sexual violence. Well, I'd be able to describe why it's not sexual violence because it's so dishonest, dumb, and ridiculous to posit otherwise. I'd be able to say, hey, Chris, the reason why it's not sexual violence is because the definition of sexual violence is any unconsensual sexual act, and this was not an unconsensual sexual act, as both of the two parties consented to the blowjob. All of a sudden, I've now been able to describe why this dishonest, ridiculous, dumb argument attempting to prove sexual violence when there is none has been debunked. Why can't you do the same? And once again, last time, I'm down to move on. We could be talking about policy in 10 seconds. Concede that you were wrong. Say it was sexual violence or describe to me why it wasn't in the same way I was able to describe to you why that dumb, ridiculous hypothetical you gave me wasn't sexual violence. You have now completely lost all of the fuel, okay, in your plane riding on the claim that you can't respond to it because of how dumb and ridiculous it is. It being dumb and ridiculous should only make it easier to respond to. I mean, did you see how easy it was for me to debunk your quote-unquote analogous dumb and ridiculous hypothetical of sexual violence? You did. Quit stalling. Either give the counter argument or fucking skedaddle. Like, this is embarrassing for you, Chris. Plane is crashing.
Okay, well, I'm looking on the CDC's website right now, and it says that, and if according to the CDC, I can agree with the CDC with their definition. It says CDC definition: sexual violence is a sexual activity when consent is not obtained or freely given. It includes a range of behaviors from completed attempts, grape, to unwanted sexual contact and non-contact acts. So by the CDC, harassment and voyeurism is under there. So I concede to the CDC's definition.
Okay, so then you agree that Trump engaged in sexual violence, right?
Sure.
Good. All right. I don't know why it took you 45 minutes to recognize that Donald Trump engaged in sexual violence, but I'm happy that we got there. I'm going to go and thank a couple people, then you can make your argument. Darian, thank you for the 35 euros over on Super Chat. I appreciate you so much, Darian. That is Darrien. Show some love to Darian down below. Thank you so much for that love, Darian. Who says, Dean, can you donate this to a cat charity in the name of Smooth Blue in the YouTube chat who lost their cat today? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, I got you. Thank you so much for the 35 euros. I'm really sorry to hear that. Same thing to Isaiah. Thank you for the $10 who says, I think I debated this guy once before and he said that he was running for Congress and that TikTok TOS doesn't allow him to talk about Trump's sexual violence. Weird. Yeah, I mean, this guy's like clearly like terrified of confronting the fact that Donald Trump is engaged in sexual violence, right? Like, he was calling my argument dumb all along. He called it ridiculous. He called it intellectually dishonest. But then he concedes in less than 5 minutes by acknowledging that the CDC defines what Trump did as sexual violence clearly. Something about that isn't adding up. On Venmo, thank you, Sarah, for the $10, who says the reason why he doesn't want to admit to sexual violence is because if he considers voyeurism sexual violence, then more of them and their friends will realize that they're the predators that they want to throw in jail. Yep, thank you for the $10, Sarah. Catherine, thank you for the $5, who says the problem is that MAGA does not care about Trump's heinous character. Yep. Victoria, thank you for the $25. I appreciate you so much for the love, Victoria. Let's get 250 Victoria W's. Thank you so much for that love, Victoria. Payne with a $1. Megan with a $1. Kyle, thank you for the $10. I appreciate you. Sarah, thank you for the 5. And then Ashley with a 10. Thank you, Ashley. Then Emily, thank you for the 2. Haley, thank you for the 3. And then Amara, thank you for the $20 donation on Venmo. I want to see 500 Amara W's, who says they desensitize how serious these cases can be so that it doesn't make them feel as bad about themselves. Thank you for not letting them brush it off. And that donation came in 30 minutes ago. It took me 30 minutes to get this guy to just concede. That's insane. Thank you, Amara. And then Rachel, thank you so much for the $100 donation on Venmo. Oh my God, Rachel, I hope that you're having a good day. I know that you've been supporting what we do here for a long while. Rachel asked me not to read her donation message off. Just know that I'm so fucking grateful. I don't deserve a penny, and you are unbelievably kind. I want everybody watching to show some love to the GOAT, Rachel, down below in that chat, because that is unreal. Laura, thank you for the $25 donation on Venmo as well. I appreciate you, Laura. Let's get 250 Laura W's. And then let's also get 500 Madison W's for the $50 donation, who says, Dina, just found out that I passed the bar exam, officially an attorney. The pass rate was 30%. Thank you so much for keeping me entertained over the winter as I crashed out during bar prep. Watching your stream was something that I look forward to every day, and I'm so proud. Madison, I'm so fucking proud of you for passing the bar. That is a huge accomplishment, and I wish you the very, 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 very best of luck in your career. Show some love to Madison, and thank you for an incredibly kind donation, because $50 is a shit ton of money. Serena, thank you for the $20, who says my favorite show is on, currently getting ready to go out with my friends, watching you destroy these MAGA idiots. Love you too, Serena. Have a good night out. Stay safe. Take care. Thank you for the $20. And then John, thank you for the $10, who says your debate with that sleeping guy was epic and shouldn't be overlooked. That was some quick wit. Yeah, that's nuts. HJ, thank you for the $5. Then Mary, thank you for the $5. So with that being said, we're actually all caught up over on Venmo. You guys have been incredibly kind, and I'm so very grateful for you all. On PayPal, thank you, Cully, for the $10, who says I thought of a good piano song for you. Check out Walking in Memphis by Mark Cohen. I'll check it out. Thank you for the $10. Thank you. Then Joseph, thank you for the $2. Then Renee, thank you for the $5. Same thing to Anna. Thank you for the $25, who says, Dean, thank you for standing up for women. Of course. Well, I appreciate you for the $25, Anna. Let's get 250 Anna W. Same thing to Anonymous. Thank you so much for the $24. $5 donation as well. And I just read your message. That makes me happy. Show some love to Anon, and thank you so much for the love. Same thing to you, Amanda. Thank you for the $10. Lucilia, thank you for the $15. She says, Dean, I just want to say that I love you so much and I really appreciate what you do. Thank you, Lucilia. And with that, we're all caught up over there. Oh, Haley, thank you for the $5. Who says, I like your LARP. You do pretending to be a Democrat because your Andrew Tate style did not work. So, Haley, well, I appreciate you for the $5. I'm going to make sure to spend that on another trip to Louis Vuitton on my private jet with my Coach duffel bag. Thank you for the $5. We are one step closer. W's for Haley. And then Amanda, thank you for the $10 as well. Thank you. On Super Chat, I think we have 2 more people, then we're ready to continue the debate. Thank you, Wendy, for the $50. Wendy, back in the building. Thank you so very much for the love and support. Wendy, I know that you're always hanging out with us in here. I never see you like in the comment section, but I always know that you're watching, and just know that I'm so very, very grateful for you. I want to see at least 500 Wendy W. She didn't even attach a message to that love. Then same thing to you, CJ. Thank you for the $20. That was actually CJ's first Super Chat ever on a live stream, and I'm very grateful to be the recipient. Thank you, you guys. Wow, you guys have been so incredibly kind. We just caught up with all the donors from the last hour or so. Thank you guys so very much for the love and support. If you do want to support me, if you do want to support the stream, you can find my Venmo and my PayPal in the link tree in my bio on TikTok. Pin message over on the other place, and Dean Withers without the E. It's going to continue the debate. Now, the continuation of the debate will be operating off of a very interesting premise. That premise will be the fact that this man does not think men who have committed sexual violence should be in jail, but rather roaming free in the streets of America with no accountability whatsoever. In fact, they should be able to become presidents. So that's a crazy premise to operate under. But, you know, let's hope that this guy doesn't make a point about deporting undocumented immigrants, because that'd be a little bit unfair to say. We need to punish people for a victimless federal misdemeanor, but we need to reward people for sexual violence, as he admitted to with the presidency. Let's see. Take it away.
Well, first, before I go, Dean, I wanted to say that I truly believe that you believe what you're doing is good, and I can respect men that are like that. Although I don't agree with a lot of your methods, I do agree with your convictions. So, but ultimately, yeah, I really truly believe that in my core and in my heart, like, you don't agree with the right, I don't agree with the left, and many reasons for that. But my summary is that I believe people on the left ultimately operate under an immoral framework that is
immoral. Not immoral, but go ahead.
A moral framework that is not aligned with any objective morality, and I find that in God, and the people that I connect with are on the right, and so that's why I'm on the right. And so using that framework is the reason that I voted for Trump, because ultimately I believed he was the only thing that could defeat the left that I am very much against. And once he got into office, he did really good things. I truly believe that the Big Beautiful Bill is an amazing bill. It fully funded the border wall. Where you look at the border wall being erected, it brought down crime in that county by 86% and lowered crossings by 97%. And so the wall is a very effective mechanism that was fully funded by the Big Beautiful Bill. It also extended tax cuts and jobs, the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. All the tax provisions were pushed over and made permanent. And ultimately, that's a good thing for America, because every tax bracket was brought down. And then no tax on overtime, no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security. These are all really good things. And instead of going off into a long list that I have in my head, we can start at the Big Beautiful Bill if you want.
Perfect. Yeah, I just wrote all that down. Let me fact check one thing you said real quick. In the meantime, guys, make sure that you're double tapping away on that phone screen. I appreciate y'all so much for being here. Perfect. Awesome. That is exactly what I thought. So yeah, the first thing that I'll address here is that you said that the Big Beautiful Bill was able to bring down crime in that in a county by 86%, and it reduced undocumented entry by 97% by building the wall. So to clarify, you are getting those numbers from 2025, right?
I can't remember. It was through the American policy. God, what policy institute? It was a conservative think tank that put out the numbers that did a big study on the wall. I can't recall the exact source, but I definitely read that in a study, and that always stuck out to me as a good number.
Yeah, just the issue that we have here is that although funding was allotted to the border wall through the Big Beautiful Bill, they didn't begin reconstruction in accordance with that funding until early 2026, particularly February 25th, 2026, according to the Texas Facilities Commission. So when you're looking at data from last year, i.e. crime going down and undocumented entry going down in 2025, then blaming it on a wall which didn't start reconstruction until February of 2026, according to the Texas Facilities Commission, clearly that can't be the case.
I literally told you I don't know, I can't remember what study it was, and I never said this was on new border development. I said where the wall was erected, and that means any given time in space itself, Dean. No, I'm not saying in just 2025.
Okay,
I'm not just saying 2025. These are the statistics.
From when?
Hold on, let me pull them up for you.
I mean, yeah, like undocumented entries went down a shit ton, right?
No, but I'm saying where the wall is erected, it brings down border crossings 97% and crime 86% in that county.
Okay, so are you talking about like the erection of the wall following like the recommissioned development of the wall in February of 2026?
No, it was a study done on the 540 miles that were done in Trump's first administration.
Oh, okay. 540 miles. Okay, well, if you're looking at the Trump wall, we'd be looking at less than 50 miles, but that would also include another 500 miles of like the fencing shit that has just been typically put up on the southern border intermittently throughout various presidential administrations. Okay, so then that's not from the Big Beautiful Bill. All right, so then you wanted to start by talking about the Big Beautiful Bill, so let's do that. Sure, the claims that you made about the Big Beautiful Bill was, once again, fully funding the border wall, bringing down crime and undocumented entry, made tax cuts permanent, every tax bracket was brought down, and these were really good things. So first and foremost, not every tax cut introduced in the Big Beautiful Bill was permanent, i.e. no tax on tips and no tax on overtimes actually sunsets next year. Second of all, you said that every tax bracket was...
That's the nature of the first implementation of a new tax plan, is that none of them are permanent. And so that's the general nature. They have to be set permanent by Congress after a testing period.
Yeah.
That's why the original Tax Cuts and Jobs Act was extended and put permanent.
Okay, so then you just should be more clear with your claim when you say all the cuts are permanent, because they're not. Also, not to mention that typically we don't see that the nature of tax cuts is to implement them for a trial period than to renew them. However, we have seen that more in modern American history. But, like, for instance, we didn't see that with the tax cuts as provided under the American Rescue Plan with increases in the child tax credit, i.e. that was implemented under Biden. It's permanent. We didn't need a testing period first. Now, second of all here, you said that every tax bracket was brought down. Now, this claim is true but misleading. And what I mean by that is, well, when we look at the Big Beautiful Bill, every tax bracket did have a reduction in what they were taxed. However, when we account for the increased cost of living overall, according to the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, you are losing purchasing power if you make at or under $51,000 per year, even in consideration to the tax cuts. So if we just look at purchasing power, if we consider the tax cuts, but also consider the massive cuts to Medicaid, the massive cuts to food stamps, the massive cuts to like clean energy production, increasing the cost of energy upwards of $500 for the average American household, people making at or under $51,000 per year are worse off than they are better off because of the Big Beautiful Bill, once again, according to the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities.
Dean, you just word vomited.
Okay, I could find a way to like make that a little bit more simple. I understand it was a lot. Do you want me to try again?
Sure.
Okay, perfect. So you were right when you say that every income tax bracket is getting a tax cut from the Big Beautiful Bill. But that statement is misleading, because when we account for the tax cuts and the lost purchasing power by making healthcare significantly more expensive, cutting 10 million low-income Americans off of Medicaid, cutting 3 million Americans off of food stamps, and taking away 72% of the productive capacities from clean energy production, making energy significantly more expensive, purchasing power, we see that even in consideration of the tax cuts, which are supposed to give people more purchasing power, At the end of the day, all things considered, the average American making at or under $51,000 per year has less purchasing power because of the big beautiful bill. Does that make sense?
Dean, you said misleading, and I get exactly what you're saying. How is putting work requirements on Medicaid saying that the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act permanency in the big beautiful bill is misleading? That is absolutely insane. And again,
of course, I can describe
this is why I say I respect you for standing up for what you believe in, but your methods are so intellectually dishonest. You cannot connect Medicaid work requirements.
You can.
And say that is a reason that the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act being permanently extended is misleading. That's
yes,
insane.
You actually can. Yeah, so it's going to be, of course, here's how.
That's
because
insane.
Because of the introduction of the new work requirements alongside defunding Medicaid by $1 trillion, alongside not renewing the ACA subsidy that is exploding the cost of Medicaid for people on it through the ACA, which are members of the working class. People now either are now cut off of Medicaid, meaning that they have to go and pay for private insurance, or they're still on Medicaid, but their insurance premiums are quadrupling. So because of these reasons, we have the 10 million Americans that lost Medicaid because of the big beautiful bill now having to pay more for health insurance, and the 45 million Americans reliant on Medicaid through the ACA and the working class now having to pay significantly higher premiums. So although they're getting a slight tax cut, all things considered, they have to pay more at the end of the day because of the increase in premiums or now the payments that they have to make towards private insurance.
So what you mean to say is that it's misleading that Americans have more money in their pocket, not that the tax cuts themselves are permanent. That's what you mean.
Yes. So the misleading part is boasting the fact that every single tax bracket got a tax cut as a win for Trump. When we actually look at the bill, we make a consideration that every single tax bracket got a tax cut, but then we also look at how their purchasing power was significantly reduced because now they have to spend more. Even when we consider those tax cuts, they have less money in their bank account at the end of the day. It's actually not a boastful point of the Trump admin, and this is one of the many reasons why they've been so terrible for us.
So will you concede to the fact that you just misspoke and that the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act being made permanent is not a misleading statement? Will you concede to that fact?
No, I didn't misspeak about anything I said. Yeah, saying that the TCJA is permanent and that everybody gets a tax cut is misleading because it's supposed to lead people to the conclusion that they're going to be better off because of the bill, when in all reality, that's misleading because they're not better off because of the bill. Even though every individual tax bracket got a tax cut, they're going to be paying more because of the big beautiful bill, paying more than their taxes were cut. So it's not misleading at all because then the average American is left with less than they would have had if the big beautiful bill was never passed.
I never prefaced my statement by saying that Americans were benefiting from the tax cuts. That's something I haven't even gotten into yet. I simply stated that the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act were created permanent under the big beautiful bill, and you said that is misleading. That is misleading. So I conceded to your point. You need to concede to this point that it is not misleading to say that the big beautiful bill fully made permanent
it's not just the permanence part. It's that every tax bracket got a reduction part as well. And I'll only concede if I think I'm wrong. Okay, and I don't think that I'm wrong here because what you did preface bringing up every tax bracket getting a tax cut with is one of the reasons why you support Trump as president. So when somebody is describing to you the reasons why they support somebody as president, they're telling you the good things that they think this president is doing. So then you go on to say, well, a good thing that they think this president is doing is passing the big beautiful bill because every bracket gets a tax cut. Okay, well, the statement, it is a good thing that the big beautiful bill passed because every tax bracket is getting a tax cut, is misleading because although everybody is getting a tax cut, that doesn't mean the big beautiful bill is good because the average American is worse off in consideration of everything else in the bill, right? That's what makes it misleading. And I'm not going to back off that claim, buddy.
Well, you're playing mental gymnastics, and people in your chat are literally saying you're lying right now because you are lying, and you're not willing to be intellectually. Listen, Dean, I respect you as a human being for standing up for what you believe in, coming up here debating every day. I'm sure you have a bright future ahead of you, but you're going to need to learn to become intellectually honest, and this is a point to concede on. This is absolutely a point to concede on. You said that it's misleading that
He's just
the
going to
Tax
repeat
Cuts
himself.
and Jobs Act were made permanent.
No, not the permanence.
Just like for 45
the every
minutes,
bracket gets a tax cut part is misleading.
No, because every bracket did get a tax cut in the original Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, and the Big Beautiful Bill made those permanent.
But saying this
and
is
you
the reason why the Big
responded by
Beautiful Bill
saying
is good
that's
is
misleading. That's not misleading.
Say-
Concede to that
saying,
point.
Saying that that's the reason why the Big Beautiful Bill is misleading. Why the Big Beautiful Bill is good, framed under why you support Trump as president, is misleading, because that leads individuals to think that this is going to benefit them, but it doesn't.
It does benefit them. You're literally using an argument about Medicaid to say that it.
I'm using a study done by the
to
Center on
say
Budget
that
and
the
Policy
Tax Cuts
Priorities.
and Jobs Act did not. So let me ask you a question. Yes,
I'm
or no?
using it. Wait, I'm using a study
Let
done.
me ask you a question.
You're just
A
confusing my
simple
own
question,
argument.
Dean.
I'm using a
No, I'm
study
not,
done.
Dean.
I'm using this will only take 5 seconds. I'm using a study done by the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities that says although every income bracket is getting a tax cut, you're hurt more than you're helped if you make under $51,000 per year on average. That's my argument. Is that study by the CBPP?
Dean, answer this question, yes or no. Were the tax cuts from the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act in Trump's first term made permanent by the Big Beautiful Bill, yes or no?
I'll take your word for it.
So is that a yes?
Yeah, I'm telling you, I'll take your word for it. Yes.
Okay, then that's all I wanted. That's all I wanted.
Okay. Why? Like, the important part here isn't the permanence of the
because
TCJA.
now you
The
just
important
said
part
yes,
is
now
the
you
tax
need-
cuts for every income bracket.
Yeah, every income bracket.
Yeah, that's the part you need to be asking me about.
So but how are you connecting putting work requirements on Medicaid to my statement being misleading? You need to concede to that point if you want
Yeah.
to be intellectually honest, sir.
So the connection between the cuts to Medicaid, the cuts to food stamps, the cuts to energy production, alongside a multiplicity of other factors within this bill, to your statement being misleading that everybody gets a tax cut, is that when we consider all these other factors, like the CBPP did in the study that they ran, they concluded that you're hurt more than you're helped if you make at or under $51,000 per year. Like, you could continue that I need to concede, concede. It's just not going to happen, because that's what it means for something to be misleading. When we promote a piece of legislation and we say that everybody gets a tax cut and people like tax cuts, we're therefore kind of saying that everybody's benefited, right? That's the underlying thesis to the claim, that we need to promote and celebrate the Big Beautiful Bill because everybody gets a tax cut. The underlying thesis is everybody benefits. But that underlying thesis is wrong because of the study done by the CBPP. That's why I say that the claim that everybody gets a tax cut, and this is why the Big Beautiful Bill is good, is misleading, right? I don't say it's false. Yeah, because you're right. Technically, everybody does get a tax cut, but it's misleading because the underlying thesis that everybody is helped is false.
Okay, let's break this down and dissect this. So the underlying thesis, like you're saying, is that not everybody's helped because of Donald Trump's action X, Y, and Z.
It's a bait and switch.
A.
It's misleading because it's a bait and switch. You're baiting
because
people
what
into supporting
you're
Trump
doing is a
and
bait and switch, and
applauding
it's
the Big
debate,
Beautiful
Dean.
Bill by saying everybody gets a tax cut. But then you're switching on all these people that you've now baited in, okay? Because if they make at or under $51,000 per year, they're actually hurt more than they're helped by the bill, which is, once again, why that argument is misleading.
Dean, we never even got into the underlying thesis of how this helps people. All I literally said
But
was
you claim that it does
the
help
original
people.
Tax Cuts and Jobs Act got extended by the Big Beautiful Bill. You said that's misleading
No,
because
you
there was
continue to
work
confuse yourself.
requirements.
It has nothing to do
I'm
with the
not confusing
permanence.
myself. That's
It has
exactly
nothing
what
to do
you
with the
said.
permanence of the TCJA. It has to do with your claim that it benefits everybody because it cuts everybody's taxes.
Dean, this is why I think...
I know.
I
You can't give a counter
fundamentally-
argument on this one either. Listen, bro,
no,
you've been on here for like an hour and a half. You continue to make fraudulent claims. You accuse me of
No,
intellectual
you're not willing
dishonesty.
to concede
You
to a
accuse me of
point
not
that you
being
got
willing to
cooked in,
concede.
Dean. You
But
got cooked just now.
unfortunately, I haven't been cooked
You
on this
won't
point because
concede
I've been
to it.
able to describe why it's misleading.
You won't
simply
concede
saying
to a point.
because I'm describing why I'm not wrong. Okay, my description of why I'm not wrong and why it is misleading is something I've given to you 5 times. Like if I didn't have a reason
Yeah, but
why
you're
I'm not wrong,
lying
like
5 times in a row. That's
No!
all you're doing.
Wait.
And
Okay,
now you're
what about-
crashing out, Dean, because you know
I
you
don't
got
think I'm
caught.
crashing out. What about the
I know
following
you're
argument is
crashing
a
out.
lie? Okay.
You're crashing out, Dean.
Yeah, I'm crashing out, Chris.
You literally
I
are
agree.
leaning back and running your fingers through your hair. Your eyes are wide because you cannot deal with conceding. That's how egotistical and narcissistic you are, Dean.
So true.
This is why I said that I respect your conviction in you believing what you're doing is right, but I don't respect your methods because you are a narcissistic liar that uses intellectual dishonesty, and you can't even have a serious debate with anybody.
So true.
All you do is try to win instead of use factual information, and you're not using facts. You're not even willing to concede. I conceded to one of your points because I'm an intellectually honest human being, and you're not.
Well, the reason why you conceded to one of my points is because I was right and you were wrong. And the reason why I'm not going to concede to this point is because I am right and you are wrong. And I understand, like you said very clearly, I'm crashing out. I own it. Just look at me. I'm crashing out. And I appreciate your very calm.
You definitely were.
Yeah, and I appreciate your very calm, not a crash out at all. I'm going to call this guy a narcissistic liar 10 times over. Right? That wasn't a crash out in the slightest.
The entire internet calls you that, Dean, not just me.
No, I know. So real. The entire internet could just see how I'm so clearly crashing out, and you're keeping it cool, calm, and collected.
I am keeping it cool, calm, and
so
collected.
I know. The entire internet can see it. That's what I'm saying. But for the last time, Chris, not going to concede at this point because I'm not wrong. It is misleading to say that the big beautiful bill is great and we should all applaud it because it gives everybody a tax cut. Because although it gives everybody a tax cut, ultimately when we consider the other provisions of the bill, if you make at or under $51,000 per year, you are worse off because of the bill. It's called a bait and switch. You bait people into supporting the bill by claiming that everybody gets a tax cut. Then you switch up on them because now that you've gotten the support of people making under $51,000 per year because you're telling them they're going to get a tax cut, ultimately after the bill passes, they're hurt more than they're helped. That's why the statement is misleading. Now, Chris, you're going to call it a lie, and you're going to demand that I concede. And when I don't concede, and I tell you everything I just told you again, you're going to accuse me of being a narcissistic liar. But what you can't call me is wrong.
I can call you wrong. You're definitely wrong. And you have a very loyal following, Dean. I really hope that one day you look deep into your heart and you go, do I want to carry on a life that literally involves being intellectually dishonest and lying and misleading, all in an attempt to
Can you just
stoke your own
explain
ego.
why I'm wrong then?
No, I'm telling you, Dean, it's not going to get you far in life.
Just
You're going to get
explain why I'm
shut out
wrong
by
then.
the professional community. I mean, let me ask you a question. Like, seriously, why do you think that you're not asked to go speak at
I have too
DNC
much
events?
fun on these things.
Why do you think
I have a good
nobody
answer to that question.
that's important has literally brought you under their wing and become your mentor? It's because they can see right through your bullshit, Dean.
Okay.
You really need to grow up, dude. Because
so,
I'm willing to
so did you
concede
know
the
that?
points, but
Did you know that the chairman of the DNC actually came on my live? Oh no!
If he comes on your live, Dean.
Oh,
that's
no.
That's just a moment of him trying to promote himself to young people, Dean.
Did you know that? Did you know that Zoran Mamdani has come on my live? Did you know that Zoran Mamdani has come on my live? Did you know that Reprokana has come on my live 3 times? Did you know that Pete Pete Hegseth has come on my live?
Dean,
did you know right now I'm talking to Elizabeth Warren's team?
Dean.
No,
Serious
no,
has taken
I know.
you under their wing and shown you the real world because they can see right through you, Dean. And I'm telling you, you need to drop this intellectually dishonest side of you because you are.
Oh, sorry, not Hegseth, Buttigieg.
Wrong.
Yo, not Pete Hegseth, Pete
fundamentally
Buttigieg.
wrong.
Sorry, folks. Go ahead.
You are fundamentally wrong, and literally all it takes. Oh, I'll concede to that point. That the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act all were extended and made permanent. You're saying, well, that's misleading. That's just a lie. You're just lying.
I'm having a good time, Chris. The reason why I'm having a good time with you today is because you're just trying to bully me into admitting that I'm wrong. Let me speak. Come on, man.
Now
Be fair.
you're crashing out.
No, I'm laughing. Dude. I'm laughing
Dean,
because I think it's funny.
You. I'm
Okay.
holding you
All right,
to the same
Chris.
standards that you
Chris,
held to me.
I understand.
You held the same standards
I
to me,
I
sir.
understand. I'm the one crashing out, but can I please speak?
Go ahead.
Thanks, Chris. No,
Thanks for
I was
having me on your
right.
lines, Dean. I appreciate it.
So you are like trying to bully me into conceding a point that I'm right about, because the one thing you haven't done is explained why I'm wrong. All right, my description that the claim big beautiful bill is good, everybody should like it because it cuts taxes for everybody, is misleading because it baits people into supporting it, including those that make under $51,000 per year, when inevitably they'll be switched and hurt because although their taxes are technically cut, they're going to have less money in their bank account at the end of the day, which is why they would care about their taxes being cut because of all the other provisions, is misleading. Okay, you can't describe to me why I'm wrong in my analysis of why that's misleading. You're just gonna like go on this tirade about how nobody takes me seriously and how there's people in the chat. I'm gonna put you on mute, Chris. You just like want to go on this tirade about how no one takes me seriously and you know how there's people in the chat begging me to like concede or whatever. Buddy, listen, Chris. First and foremost, you're saying that people don't bring me under their wing, buddy. At this point in my career, I am the largest Gen Z political commentator. So the Jordan Center did a poll with IPSOS, and the results of this poll is that for Democratic influencers on the left, excluding politicians, I am the fourth most favored outside of a CNN anchor, Jimmy Kimmel, and Stephen Colbert. All right? They're not Gen Z. Therefore, according to a poll done by the Jordan Center and IPSOS, I'm the largest Gen Z political commentator on the left. Now, you could say that people don't take the largest Gen Z political commentator on the left seriously all you want. You could, in fact, scream that to our current audience of 20,000 people on YouTube and TikTok. Scream it to them all you want, okay? But at the end of the day, we could see right through you. You are an old man that is being proven wrong. Not even with difficulty. I'm not stressed. I'm not trying. I'm just simply relaying the facts to you because you are so deep in your misconstructions of the world around us. All I had to do was cite a study that I cite every day on live, and all of a sudden, your point is null and void. And you fucking hate that. I mean, I would hate it too. All right? You know, you're like trying to be Charlie Kirk or whatever. You did the daily. He does the same daily live streams I do. He debates people on the left. He makes daily posts. I mean, he was even just telling us about this really expensive audio equipment that he got with a whole mic, the headphone, the amp, and everything to become a little bit more professional. I mean, this guy takes himself seriously for his ability to defend the truth of the Trump policy and to own the libs. But then a lib owns him with like one sentence. Lib owned him on the whole sexual violence thing, and now Lib's owning him on the whole big beautiful bill bad for people that make under 51,000 thing. Dude can't take it. Dude can't take it. It's what is or can only be described as an ego death. Go ahead.
Dean,
Taylor, thank you for the $5 donation over on Venmo, who says, take a shot every time this guest says intellectually dishonest. Don't, bro. You'd be dead. Camila, thank you for the $10 as well. You says, Dean, I've been watching you for so long, but this is my first time donating. I admire what you do, and I really look forward to it every day. From Cami. Cami, thank you for the $10. Thank you so much. Samantha, thank you for the $20 donation, who says, fucking brilliant. Thank you, Samantha. Please show some love to Samantha down below in that chat. I'm so very grateful for you. Thank you so much, Samantha. Same thing to Drew. Thank you for the $25, who says, yo, Dean, keep on killing the rape apologist. I'm trying my best, Drew. Thank you so very much for the love. Show some love to Drew. Tori, thank you for the $25, who says, I watch your streams. Add this to your intellectual dishonesty fund. Well, it's good to know that you don't take me serious at all. Thank you for the $25, Tori. Show some love to Tori down below. Same thing to Fonda. Thank you for the $20, who says, I love watching your streams. Add this to your intellectual dishonesty fund. Thank you. Thank you so much for the love. Please show some love to Fonda down below in that comment section for the $20. And May with the $15, who says, this guy is cooking himself. It's so funny. I know, bro. Then he's getting mad at me. Like, you don't need to get mad at me because I'm proving you wrong. Like, you do understand that you were the person who's wrong wrong in the first place, I'm not a villain for correcting you. Holy. Thank you for the love over on Venmo. Good to know that all of you guys don't take me seriously at all. Then Clayton, thank you for the $10 over on PayPal. He says, here's another $10 for making that man-child crash out, cry more. He's a big baby. Dude, I'm getting paid to make you mad. That's great. Thank you for the $10, Clayton. And then Nurse Carrie, thank you so much for the $100 donation on PayPal. I want to see 1,000 Carrie W's down below in that chat. Thank you so very, very much for the $100 donation. He says, OMG with this, Chris dude, enjoy. Thank you. Thank you so much. Please show some love to Nurse Carrie down below in that comment section. Please show some love to Nurse Carrie. I'm so very grateful for your love and support. That is beyond kind, and I'm so very grateful. Same thing to you, Clayton. Thank you for the $20. I appreciate you so much. Who says, the left says that, guest says that the left has an immoral moral framework. The left wants universal health care. Jesus was a universal healthcare incarnate. Insufferable cultist is insufferable on God. On God, Clayton. Thank you for the $20. Same thing to Emily with the $20, who says, I just wanted to support you. Well, thank you for the support and love, Emily. Joseph, thank you so much for the $24. I appreciate you so much for that love, Joseph. I want to see 240 Joseph W's down below. Seriously, thank you so much. And then Marianne, thank you so much for the $23 donation, Marianne. I hope that you're having a great day. Thank you so very much for the love and support, Marianne. As well as Gravid, thank you for the $10, who says, bodied on God. Then Meg with the $10, who says, don't be like Chris. Yeah, I know. I think we'd all be a little bit better off if we weren't like Chris. Now, I appreciate you guys so much for all the love and support. It's good to know that at least a couple people take me seriously. Ooh, go ahead.
Dean,
just kidding. I just have a second word from the sponsors. Abby, thank you for the $15. Who says the DNC doesn't need himself to be invited to an event. You've been highly baited and highly switched, Chris. Thank you for the $15. Sarah with the 10 says Chris is a clout chaser. Naima with the 10 who says you're exactly who you think you are. He's loud and wrong. Then Lauren with the 10 who says I watched all your streams from my parents last night and they couldn't believe how intelligent you spoke and laughed at all the idiots. Look, keep it up. Thank you, Lauren. I appreciate you guys. Yeah, I mean, shit. I'm sorry. That was rude. I'm obviously crashing out. I'm just a malignant narcissist with ego and inability to tell the truth and concede when I'm wrong. That nobody takes seriously.
You couldn't have said it better.
Yeah.
No, and really, Dean, I hope that one day you truly look deep into your heart and change that part about you, because I think ultimately you have great conviction for the left, and that's the only thing I respect about you as a man. But I don't respect the point that you're not willing to literally...
Dude got cooked so hard, he went from being a debater to a psychoanalyst. But I made dude change professions. I cooked his ass so fucking hard that this motherfucker changed professions.
You know what I'm saying is true, Dean. You know what I'm saying is true.
So clearly.
And it's something that that unfortunately you're gonna have to live with as a young man. But I'm not gonna step off of this point. You need to concede to the fact that the big beautiful bill extended the tax cuts in every bracket and made them permanent. That is not a misleading statement. And that whole rant that you just went on is trying to step away from conceding to one simple fact. And like you made me go over and over again with you, I'm going to do the same thing with you until you concede to the point, or you can say that you don't want to debate anymore and you can drop me, because I'm not going to leave this section of our conversation without you conceding. It is not misleading to say that the big beautiful bill made permanent the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act tax cuts. It's not misleading to say that.
Yeah, we'll give this guy
that point.
We'll give this guy one last opportunity. Respond to the following statement. It is not misleading.
Now you're pivoting, Dean. You're just pivoting. Don't pivot. Okay. Yes, you are. Concede or drop me. It's up to you. You can run from the debate or you can concede like a man.
Okay. So I'm not going to concede. And I could describe why.
Okay, well, if you're not going to concede, have a nice day, Dean. This is ridiculous.
You can run if you'd like.
It's worthless having a conversation with you.
All right, it's fine. You could run. All right, bye, Chris. You have a good one. Oh, that's funny as hell. Dude, I'm dead. That's funny. That's really, dude, that is comedy gold. You're either gonna concede or I'm gonna leave. You either tell me I'm right or I'm not doing this debate anymore, Dean. You have to tell me I'm right, Dean. You can't tell me I'm wrong. You can't tell me I'm wrong in a debate, Dean. Honestly, Dean, when you tell me I'm wrong in a debate, it's fucking pointless. You either tell me that everything I say is absolutely correct and concede to it all, or there's no point in me having this discussion. Oh man, that is good. Thank you for the laugh. Wow.
Dude, you dunked on him so badly. He got pressed and left, bro. He was so mad.
I know.
He got destroyed and he crashed out. That's so funny, bro.
I know. That's fucking great. Here, I need to shoot a text real quick. It is nearing.
How have your debates been so far today?
Oh, they've been all right. They've been okay. A lot of crazies. It is nearing 6. You wanna?
Well, it definitely sounds like that. The last guy is a crazy one, and he's scared to debate you still. Watch him never come back.
Okay, well, yeah, well, he's not going to come back. That's actually the first and only time that Chris has ever been down to talk to me. Yeah, for the person that I was just texting, they're tuned into the live, so I'll just say it out loud because it's not like private or anything. Let me know if you'd prefer to do it at the top of the hour, or like we could even like what is it? 11 minutes. Let me do some quick math. 40. Would like 6:15 Mountain work for you? You know who you are. 6:15, because I know at first I said 6, but I like if I saw that you're in here now. Like I don't want to like waste your time or anything, So if top of the hour would work good for you, like I could do that too, because I don't want you to feel like your time's being wasted. Let me know. I could do either. Oh, we're doing a fundraiser. All right, go guys. Let's go to get that next guest loaded up into the box right now. Only up inside of the queue if you happen to be MAGA. Truth teller, hello. Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
Okay, how old are you?
33.
Okay, are you gonna tell me to concede, and if I don't concede, you'll leave?
No. I thought he had a good point, though. He was cooking you. But anyway, let's move on.
How?
Again, he made a valid point, and you had nothing to back it up, and you just wouldn't concede, but whatever.
Which was?
Did he not tell you like 10 times over?
Yeah, he told me 10 times over that it's like not misleading to say that the big beautiful bill is great and everybody should love it because everybody got a tax cut. I said that was misleading to say because although everybody got a tax cut, those making out under $51,000 per year hurt more than their help, therefore it's a bait and switch. Right? That's why the statement's misleading. Jesus.
It's not misleading.
Oh God, why?
It's true.
Okay, well, like true things can be misleading in how you frame them, which is what makes a misleading statement misleading.
True things can be misleading.
Yes, based on how you frame them. Absolutely. That's where misleading things comes from.
Dean. Oh boy, here we go.
It's like where the category of misleading things comes from. Like have you ever heard of like lying through omission?
Then it wouldn't be truthful.
Well, it's technically true in the sense that the statement.
No, it's not. Because they're not being truthful. They're lying.
Well, the greater lie would be that therefore the big beautiful bill is good.
It is good.
Okay, right, and that's what I was calling misleading.
It is good, and that's what he was talking about.
Yeah, and I'm calling that
that
misleading.
everyone got a tax break, and you just wouldn't concede on it.
And I'm calling that misleading because although everybody got a tax break, the people making at or under $51,000 per year.
You can just admit that it was a good thing. It's all good.
You're just doing the same thing he did. You're just begging me to admit that you're right. You can't tell me I'm wrong.
You can. It's just like we can admit when Trump's wrong, but you can't admit when he's right.
Yeah, well, he wasn't right because the people making at or under $51,000 per year were hurt more than they're helped, according to the CBPP.
All right, let's
Buddy,
move on.
you're next.
Do you think that Trump?
Yeah, good idea.
Do you think that Trump
immediately pivots when he knows that he just has no point against that?
Parker, relax. Dean.
Why don't you respond to his point then, bud?
I'm trying to get a positive out of him when it comes to Trump. When it comes to Ecuador, do you think what Trump is doing in Ecuador is a positive thing? Helping getting rid of all the gangs?
He thinks Operation Warp Speed is a good thing, so we can acknowledge good things if there are good things, but what you're not understanding is that
we weren't talking about Warp
everything that we're referencing.
Talking about helping in Ecuador. Do you think that's a good thing, Parker?
I don't see anything that they're. What are they doing in Ecuador that you think is good?
They're getting rid of the gangs. They're helping the government get rid of the street gangs.
By doing what?
A good thing or bad thing?
By doing what?
By using military force and removing them. Either arresting them or taking action and unaliving
So you think U.S. military force trying to address crime in other countries? So do you think we're the world
that was
police?
originally financed by the CIA and Western civilization? Yeah, I think it's important.
So you think we should be the world
police? A lot
police?
of these places, and I think it's important that we fix them. Because it also helps on the world stage as well. And it poses a threat to national security because they bring a lot of schmugs in, and then a lot of them come in as well as sleeper cells, et cetera, et cetera. So I think overall it's just good to help other countries. You might not think it's a good thing, but...
Did you support funding Ukraine?
No, because when it comes to Ukraine, it's fun.
What about USAID? Do you support USAID?
USAID?
Yeah.
I support it for the most part, but unfortunately it got frauded. Like people started taking advantage of it, and it got.
That's not the stuff that was cut, but would you? So do you support it?
I support the idea of it, but the problem with it is, again, it got taken advantage of, and people started using it to commit fraud. So
the cut wasn't for fraud. Like you'd have like any type of conviction for fraud or determination of fraud. They just say that they don't like the spending. You not liking spending doesn't mean it's fraud. Fraud means that they want to spend money on something, and then they didn't spend money on the thing that they wanted to spend money on.
No, I believe that the things they were spending money on were essentially fraud. Some of the things that they were spending money on that they're no longer spending money on were essentially just fraud.
Yeah, what do you mean by fraud?
Like where that money was going.
Like it didn't go where it was supposed to go.
Exactly.
Okay, what evidence do you have of that?
Well, we're talking generalizations. You want me to go find an example?
Yeah. He's not going to be able to find anything. Watch this.
I was doing something else. What's going on?
He's not going to be able to find any source to indicate that USAID is fraud. He's claiming it's all fraud because he was claiming, we should be spending money to help out countries all around the world, but then was arguing against Ukraine funding and was arguing that USAID funding was literally fraudulent.
Well, what he's going to do is he's just going to like shift the goalposts and argue that because he doesn't like where the money's going, it's therefore fraudulent, like i.e. like Connor.
That's exactly what I told him.
Yeah. Wait, you already told that to him and he still said it was fraud outside of that?
Yeah.
Damn! Oh yeah, this guy's not going to find shit. He's cooked. I like how similarly we think. It's very satisfying at times.
Isn't it crazy? Like we just have the exact same thoughts for arguments. That's like when I was watching you debate Emily Wilson, I was literally like, please argue this, Gene. And then you argued it and I was like, let's go.
Yeah, I know. It's very satisfying at times, especially like, when I'm like out doing something and I'm like listening to you. Like I do that like while I'm at the gym, especially when you go live at night. Like, that's my plan for once I end my stream is to go to the gym while I'm listening to your stream. It's like, it's really satisfying because, I just get to hear like, the A+ counter argumentation. And that of course is because the truth is universal. folks. Hey, Amber, thank you for the $20 over on Super Chat, who says, didn't he call himself the Dean Withers of the right? So if Dean is intellectually dishonest, what does that make him? Intellectually dishonest, dumb, narcissistic, all of the above, right? Then Morale, thank you for the 10 Canadian dollars, who says, why does he need to concede without proving your argument wrong, but has to take, it has to take you 45 minutes for him to concede when he never tried to make an argument about whether Donald Trump did with sexual violence or not? Yeah, I mean, that guy was just a tool. I mean, we just we cooked him. This is over on Venmo. Thank you, Tori, for the $100 donation on Venmo. Tori, thank you so fucking much for the love. Show some love to Tori down below. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I want to see 1,000 Tori W's because that is beyond fucking kind. Thank you so much. That is Torie. Tori with a $100 says, you destroyed that man baby's ego. Love you, Dean. Love you too, Tori. And thank you so much for the love and support. Yeah, that guy got fucking stomped, dude. Thank you so much for the love. Same thing to you, Blake. Thank you for the $15. And I do know about that, Blake. I'm not going to read it out loud so I don't incentivize more people to do it, but I am aware. Ali, thank you for the 5. Tom, thank you for the 5. Kelly, thank you for the 5. I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I think we had maybe 2 people on PayPal real quick. Yes. CCS, thank you for the $10, who says, thank you for making Chris. I can't read that, but thank you for the love, CCS. Shannon, thank you for the $10, who says, please don't ever stop cooking these MAGA idiots. We love you. I love you too, Shannon. And I'll never stop. I'll never stop. Love it way too much. Vanessa, thank you for the $3. And then over on Venmo, Dasha, thank you for the $20 donation, who says, the tax cuts are also a net negative for mid-income Americans that live in high-tax states like NY/NJ because of the SALT cap. Yep, thank you for the $20. Show some love to Dasha down below. We are all caught up. Take it away, Truth Teller.
Yeah, so one of the things USAID was funding was a lot of DEIA policies and a lot of transgenderism. So again, with the DEIA policies, we know that BlackRock, Larry Fink, said it was a completely failed experiment. So I think that's also one reason why.
So what specific DEI? What specific DEI?
Just kind of, again, pushing like transgenderism in the workplace.
So what specifically? Wait, how are they pushing quote unquote transgenderism in the workplace?
Like what? Like what? Like
yeah, with USAID funding, by the way.
Yeah, like what is the money being spent on? Is there like just are they just paying trans people to like go into different like businesses and tell people at the business that they should be trans too? Like what like? Yeah,
well, from Doge we know that
what
a
is
lot
the
of
money
money
being
went
spent
to
on?
Like what was it? Sesame Street in Iraq. What was it?
Yeah, what's wrong? That's not even like. That's not quote unquote transgenderism. You think Sesame Street is quote unquote transgenderism?
Also, your goal
surgeries
here,
in Albania.
I just want to clarify here that your goal is to prove fraud. Okay, so fraud.
Is that not fraud?
No.
Sending money to Iraq for Sesame Street when they don't even have electricity?
No, that's not fraud. That's not fraud.
If
that is fraud.
If Congress authorizes the funds to be spent on that,
didn't go to shit, right?
Can I be clear? I want to clarify.
Went into someone's pocket.
If Congress authorized money to be spent on that thing, and then it was spent on that thing, then it's by definition not fraudulent. Right? Like you have to be able to show that Congress authorized money to be spent on a thing, then it wasn't spent on that thing and pocketed. Right? That's what you have to prove. Can you prove that?
Why would I have to prove that?
Because you're
claiming it's fraud, bro.
And that's what fraud would be.
What did Doge say that the money was being spent on through the USAID?
Well, they never made any formal inquiry to the DOJ to indict somebody on fraud, so they didn't say it was fraud. Because fraud's illegal.
They said the misuse of funds that were being spent.
Yeah, you misuse funds by having them designated to be spent on one thing,
which is essentially
them on
fraud.
Another thing.
Which is essentially fraud.
Yeah, that is essentially fraud. Because misusing funds is the same thing as fraud, okay? You are designated money to be spent on one thing, then you're not actually spending it on that thing.
Correct, like money going to Sesame Street in Iraq. You know that just went into someone's fucking pocket.
Okay, prove that.
So where's the Sesame Street show in Iraq? Does it exist? No.
Okay, prove that.
Doesn't exist. Try and find it.
Because you don't know about it?
It does exist. Absolutely crickets, bro. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
$20 million.
Yeah,
Parker,
just
$20
okay.
million.
Yeah, prove that that wasn't spent on Sesame Street in Iraq. It's your burden of proof because it's your positive claim.
You know, Dean, he has proved one thing. He's proved he has no clue what fraud is.
So real. They just think that
Dean
fraud
already
is when
agreed
we
with
spend
me
money
it
on
was-
things that they
it was
don't
a-
like.
About misusing funds.
No, we didn't agree to that because you haven't proven that.
No, but we agreed that is what fraud is.
Oh,
So
yeah,
Parker
we
just
did.
said, I don't
Now
know
you
what
just have to
fraud
prove
is,
it.
and you agreed with me what fraud is in that regard. So
Oh, well,
what are you talking
right
about,
before you
Parker?
said that's misusing funds, you said that it was fraud when we spent this money on Sesame Street in Iraq, even though you can't prove it. So we're basically accusing you of using the word fraud very elusively and changing your definition as you see fit. You started out by just defining fraud as spending money in places that you don't like. You've now narrowed it down to misuse of funds, i.e. spending money on a place and then not actually sending the money to the place, but now you can't prove that. So could you please prove that that occurred?
it did occur, though.
Okay, then prove it. Because it's a debate.
Why did Biden, when he was president, and USAID spent $45 million on diversity, equity, and inclusion scholarships in Burma, $40 million to improve social and economic inclusion for sedentary migrants, $8 million to promote
He's just naming things that he dislikes. Wait, Dean, he did exactly what you said you was going to do. He's just naming things he dislikes in terms of spending, not things that are actually legitimately fraud that he can prove
funds
is fraud.
actually went to where they're supposed to go, and actually these are a good use of funds for the
So
taxpayer.
you're making the claim that they didn't go there. Prove it.
$8 million to promote LGBTQ in an African nation. Like what the fuck is that?
Buddy, are you going to prove
60
fraud
million.
or not? Right? Like
Pardon?
you're just reading off headlines. You're saying that you don't like it, but can you prove that there was fraud?
When he says promote, by the way, you mean promote acceptance, bro?
Like, come on, what are we doing? Like, can you prove that this was fraud? And yeah, we should be giving money to
$10 million
initiatives.
for male circumcision. in
Also, I just want to
Mozambique.
clarify that we
What's
should
up with that?
absolutely be giving money to initiatives.
I've never seen
and-
actual
You think we
evidence
should
for
be
that.
giving out circumcisions to males in Mozambique and paying $10 million for it?
What was the source for that? Is it just a claim?
They said it had to do with fighting AIDS.
Yeah, because people who are circumcised have a significantly lower threat of getting AIDS. That's been proven, and the reason why we invest into those initiatives is to reduce the
don't
transmission of
engage in
AIDS in those
sex, and
countries,
that
which
could
also in
not
turn
have
makes us
AIDS
healthier
either,
and
you know?
safer, because then when we have
Thought.
American citizens go abroad to these countries, they're at a lower likelihood of then getting AIDS and then bringing it back to America. It's and for the price tag of $10
That's your
million
excuse?
when we're already spending $1 billion a
That's
day
your
on a war in the
excuse?
Middle East,
We should
sounds
spend
good to
$10
me.
million circumcising people in other countries.
Yeah, to like reduce the
don't bring
global
it
transmission
here.
of AIDS. Yeah,
They shouldn't
true.
even be coming here in the first place. What the fuck are you
Wait,
talking about?
so we should just stop all immigration, all tourism?
I never said that. I
Wait, but you said that they shouldn't be coming here in the first place.
Bringing people.
Wait, why shouldn't people from Uganda be coming to America?
It depends on the. Sorry, I had a call coming in. Depends
Why should
on the
people
person
from
Uganda?
Wait, but no, it doesn't depend on the person, because you just said that we shouldn't
Yeah,
be
it
allowing
does.
anybody from Uganda come here.
No, it depends on the person from Uganda.
Okay, but you just said that we shouldn't be allowing anybody from Uganda from coming here.
Listen, you're cutting off.
Right, because
If
now
someone-
all of a sudden we have this issue where it's like you started off by saying that we shouldn't be allowing anybody from Uganda to come to America. You quickly realize how
I never
stupid
said
that was. So now you're arguing,
We're
well, it
talking
depends on the
about
person.
Mozambique. You
Well,
brought up
it
Uganda.
depends on the person from
Same
all across the
conversation.
globe. Okay, why? Because we have vetting processes in which are interpersonal to the person in which is attempting to achieve them for an immigration visa, green card, or tourist entry, right? Like, okay, right? But I mean, going back to the fraud conversation, you still haven't been able to prove fraud, and I'm going to kick you if you don't, like really soon.
You think it's okay to spend $10 million on circumcisions in Mozambique?
Well, matter of fact, I do. But even if I didn't think that was okay, that wouldn't prove fraud, because fraud isn't spending money in places that we don't like. Fraud is designating money to be spent in a place, regardless if we do or don't like it, and then it not actually be spent in that place.
That's just crazy that you would support that.
That's just the definition of fraud. It's not crazy that I'm accurate, all right?
No, you're not accurate. I say like two things.
Okay, so could you
really
prove
think
that the money
$10 million
wasn't actually spent on
went
that?
towards that, and then second,
You have to prove that it wasn't. You're the one
even
making
if
the
it
positive
was,
claim that it's fraud.
Even if it did go to where.
Okay,
it was
so
supposed
so
to
then
go
you
to,
concede your
think $10
claim that there was
million
fraud, right? So
is
I just want to
appropriate
clarify. Are you conceding your claim that there was
circumcision in
fraud?
another country. That's what you're telling
Are
me.
you conceding your claim that there was fraud?
That's just wild, Dean.
Are you conceding your claim that there was fraud?
I'd have to do some research and find the fraud.
Yeah,
it
I
would
know,
take
because
a
you haven't
bit to
found it
find
yet. Get absolutely fucked. Get absolutely fucked, truth teller. Dude, honestly, Parker, the people today are just like so elementary.
I had some pretty crazy people yesterday. Maybe it's just recently it's been absolutely insane.
It's just like they're so stupid, and like I've just refined the argument so much by doing this every day that it's just like kind of getting sad. I don't know. This guy's been just like blowing the fuck up in the comment section
Yo,
for like the
Dean.
last hour. This dude's a menace.
Yo, Dean.
How old are you?
I'm 18.
What year were you born in?
2008.
What month?
January.
I don't know. I'll trust you for now, but you definitely came off like an immature 13-year-old in the chat. What the fuck is
Oh,
your
really?
problem?
I don't know. I'm just chilling.
Oh, yeah, you reserved all the strong words for the comment section, but now that you talk to me face to face, you're just quote unquote chilling.
Sounds like a keyboard warrior.
Yo, why,
Yeah.
why is Parker here? I'm trying to talk to you.
Well, I mean, you're actually talking about Parker in the comment section, so same thing, keyboard warrior.
Oh, yeah,
you had a
he
lot to say
blocks
about how much
everyone.
Parker sucks
He-
in that
he
comment
blocks
section,
everyone who
but the
cooks.
moment
Yeah,
you get on live, all of a
what were
sudden
you
you
saying
don't want to
about
talk to
that
Parker at all.
comment section?
He blocks everyone who cooks him.
Oh no, you got blocked because you're spamming my comment section.
No, I was
Maybe you
never
should
in
think
your-
about that for
I know
1 second.
other people who cooked you. Let's be
Who?
real.
Who?
Well, I know other people. What are you talking about?
Can you name one specific point I've ever lost on?
Well, I can name the person.
You can't name the specific point?
I have an idea. He's
The
going to say
specific point.
Wait.
This guy's a nerd.
Wait.
Like, I'm not trying to talk
yo,
to you,
Yo, real
Parker.
quick, Parker, check my texts. That's my bet.
I'm too much of a nerd, chat.
That's my bet. Okay, so who's cooked them?
Yo, wait. Do you guys feel bad for Erica?
One moment. Who's cooked Parker?
Some guy named. I can name a few actually.
Name them.
Jesse.
Oh, fuck. I thought I was... Okay, go ahead.
Some guy named James.
Who the fuck is Jesse James, bro?
I was wrong. I was wrong about my prediction. Who the fuck is James?
I don't know. He cooked him though, and then he blocked him right after.
How do you know that?
No clue who these people are, bro.
Wait. What did James cook Parker on?
Debating about Trump.
Okay, but what specific topic?
Actually, Team Rocket? Is that what this is,
Hey,
bro?
wait. Do you guys feel bad for Erica?
Bro, mention Jesse and James from Team Rocket, bro. Are you kidding?
Jesse, I didn't even know that was a thing, but okay. Yeah, do you guys feel bad for Erica and Charlie's kid, or what? I don't think you guys do.
Do I feel bad for you? Kind of. I feel bad for you. It just doesn't really seem like you have too much of a brain, and the cells that
really?
you do have bouncing up in
Well, I
there
mean,
just
kind of looks like you're a retard. It kind of looks like you don't change your underwear.
I'm gonna take a bet that guy was 15. If I'm gonna be frank, like my bet is that dude is 15 years old. Hey Trevor, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. Says much love from Grand Junction. Keep up the great work. Well, thank you. Much love to you from Grand Junction as well. On PayPal, thank you, Jonathan, for the $15, who says nothing like outrunning tornadoes and listening to you flame Royal MAGA. Bro, Jonathan, if you're in Oklahoma, please stay safe. I've seen videos of them on my For You page. It is nuts down there right now. Same thing to Emiliana. Thank you for the 15, who says, thank you for reminding me that there is power and empathy and compassion. Peace be with you and loved ones. Oh, thank you, Emiliana. I hope that you're enjoying today's stream. Welcome in, Ivy.
Hello.
Can you unmuffle your mic?
I don't know. That better?
Yeah, a little bit. So what's your fucking deal?
What do you mean?
No, it's still pretty bad. I'm sorry, bro. I think maybe he's in Oklahoma. We're going to go to get the next guest loaded up into the box right now. This account is always sitting in my queue, but they never join. All right, guys. We got Mark loading up in here right now. Yo, Parker in the comment section just said W guest. Wait, never mind. That's not even the real Parker. I thought it was.
Yeah, that's not me. I'm not commenting.
Mark, welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Yo, Parker, hit a blinker.
It's a blinker guy.
My.
Get out of here.
I got you, bro.
We're going to go to get the next guest loaded up into the box right this moment. Or we might just go on. Hello, do you support Trump? Up in the queue. All right, folks. Give me one moment here. Give me a moment. In the meantime, guys, make sure that you are double tapping away on that phone screen, sharing out this live with a handful of friends. For everybody who's tuned in today, we're nearing the end of the stream here, so let me know how you have enjoyed the debates. I think that they've been a little bit crazy as of recently. Geez, guys, the Trump supporters have just been getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse by the day, with every day that passes. All right, you guys. Now, I'm going to go ahead and have a friend of mine up real quick because we are going to do a little bit of an initiative here. One moment. All right. Well, sorry. I'm just talking to them real quick because we're doing a little bit of an initiative for one of their friends. There we go. Let's go to get them up here. I had the pleasure of spending some time in Michigan with this individual alongside a handful of other great people. How you doing? Welcome in.
Hey, Dean. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Perfect. Good to see you. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's been what, like a year and a half?
Yeah, because we met in November 2024, right?
Jeez, yeah, it's been a long time.
Mhm.
Well, it's good to see you. It's good to connect again. But I appreciate you for joining. For everybody who is watching the stream, this is one of my friends. In fact, I mean, you've probably seen her around. She's a pretty large creator herself, and she reached out to me because one of her friends is going through it, and I told her that I would love to help her friend out and see what we could do as a community to get something done. A little bit of communal action here to help somebody who's experiencing quite the turmoil live a happier and better life. So, I mean, if you want to take it away and kind of explain the initiative, why you're on the live and what we're fundraising for, please do. The mic and the floor are yours.
Okay. Well, hi guys. My name is Jax. I'll introduce myself first. I am a creator. I've been doing videos since about 2021. I'm a political commentator and I guess an influencer, we could say. But yeah, and my friend Leon just got kicked out of her house about a week ago. She was outed as trans, and so now she's just basically been homeless. And so we've been putting her in a hotel for the last week, but the money's running out. And so I just wanted to see if we could do some community work, some crowdfunding to see if we can just get her some money, get her a place to stay, some place to, some money to get her back on her feet. She's a wonderful person. She's not a creator or anything. She's a very private person, and I don't want to give her away like too much information about her because it's just still a very, very tough and unsafe situation for her. As you guys know, trans people are victimized like 4 times more likely than cis people, and only half of those victimizations are even brought to the police or anything like that. And so she's in a very, very, very unsafe situation. And I have a GoFundMe that I made last night in my bio on here on TikTok. And it's on my Instagram, which is Jaxajueny, JXAJUENY. And so anything would help, just sharing the GoFundMe or donating or anything like that. I would really, really appreciate it.
And it's also in the link tree in my bio. So if you guys actually just go to the link tree in my bio, folks, it'll say support Lee, and you'll be able to click through that and find the GoFundMe. If you are watching on YouTube, the direct link to the GoFundMe is actually just in the pinned comment on the live over there. Really once again, I mean, right now in America, we are experiencing a massive, massive, massive attack on trans individuals in this country. It is deliberate and it is explicit, okay? They are losing rights. They can't serve as members in our military now because of the Trump administration. The GOP has mass manufactured this hysteria over trans individuals, demonized them, painted them out to be, just as bad as or worse than rapists and pedophiles. That is legitimately something I hear on my live stream every single day. Can't get a driver's license in Kansas now and can't safely travel abroad to many countries in the world because now they have to ensure that their sex assigned at birth is on their passport. And because of this mass hysteria that has just been manufactured by the GOP, not only do we see the outcomes that I just described on the macro scale, countrywide policies from the Trump administration, but we also see it on the micro scale with, individuals such as Lee Jax's friend literally being kicked out of their fucking house and becoming homeless because their parents have, served to the beck and whim of people like Trump who are saying that these individuals, trans people, are the enemy. So, like I said, if you do want to support, you can find Lee's GoFundMe in the pinned comment over on YouTube. And it is also, like I said, in the link tree in the bio on TikTok. And I'm so grateful for everybody who ends up supporting. I'll be making a donation to that GoFundMe myself. So we're also very grateful. And I guess just to kind of add something on here, Lee isn't a content creator or even somebody in the public eye. This is just like literally one of Jax's personal friends.
Yeah.
And
no social media whatsoever. I mean, she was kicked out and she had an hour, I think, to get out of that house. They were threatening her. It's just a terrible situation. And the fact that so many youth go through this all over this country. And I mean, to even say that she's one of the lucky ones to have a support system outside of her family when so many people don't have that, I just can't imagine. And so we need about $5,000, and the rest of the proceeds would go to any other nonprofit that supports trans youth. And so I want to say ahead of time, thank you so much for all the donations and the donations that will happen. And also thank you for bringing me on your platform to talk about this. I really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that it's important that, the work that we do on the live kind of extends beyond attempting to change minds, but also, personally helping people when they're in need. And, like I said, I'll personally be making a donation to that. And I'm just so very grateful to everybody else as well. I actually wanted to thank a couple people that have, wow, holy shit. Thank you guys so much for support. Like, dude, we're already at $1,000 over on that GoFundMe. That is crazy.
Are you serious?
Yeah, James, thank you so much for supporting Lee.
Oh
Same
my
thing
God,
with a
thank you.
$100 donation over there. Same thing to you, Tessa. Thank you for the $100 on that GoFundMe. Savannah
Thank you so
dropped
much.
50. A dropped 33.
I'm
Miranda
gonna
with
tear up. This is
25.
crazy.
Michael.
And just from Lee, thank you from Lee. She was talking to me this morning, and she just wanted to give thanks to everybody that was going to donate and has donated. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it more than you guys know. Yeah.
And just keep in mind, guys, clearly we were just debating Trump supporters for 4 hours, so some of them are still hanging out in that chat. I saw somebody say, "Oh, look at all the brainwash funds." This is about somebody who was kicked out of their house by their parents after being outed as trans, not by themselves. Okay, who is now homeless, has no footing, and that's the reality for what happens when you get kicked out. I mean, you have a certain life trajectory, you have goals in mind, you have, a position that you want to see yourself in maybe in a year, 2 years from now. But I mean, when the boat is rocked so hard and you're kicked to the curb because your parents find out that you're trans, like, I mean, there's just no net there. There's no stability there. You are legitimately on the fucking streets, And I really do feel a lot for Lee and other individuals in Lee's position. I feel a lot, and I'm so grateful for you guys for helping out. Once again, if you do want to support Lee and read a little bit more of what Jax wrote on that GoFundMe, you could find that in the link tree in my bio on TikTok, and it is directly linked in the pin message on the YouTube stream. So, and like I said, when I hop off here, I'll be making a personal donation. And
thank you, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate all of you.
And I'm so very grateful for everybody else. And I hope that this really does help Lee. That's important. And just thank you guys. I mean, I'm still seeing a couple come in. Like, dude, huge shout out to Nicole White. Shout out to you. Same thing to Savannah Creasy. Thank you for supporting Lee. Amelia Bending, Susan, Fallon, Angie, a whole bunch of anonymouses. If you're anon over there, huge shout out to y'all. And while you're at it in the process, if you're on TikTok, you should drop Jax a follow. I mean, she's always posting. Yeah, she's always posting some good shit. She's always posting some good shit. Come across my For You page, and I'm like, damn, you're right.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. You can also find the GoFundMe and the link in my bio here on TikTok.
True that. Wow. Somebody in the chat is saying that it's at 1,700. GoFundMe is always really weird with how long it takes to load.
This is the first GoFundMe I've made personally, but
yeah, it's an interesting platform. But I mean, it is really good for crowdfunding, raising awareness. I think that's awesome. On my end, I'm seeing 1,400. And now I'm seeing a bunch of people in the chat saying 1,800. Dude, that is insane.
That's awesome.
That is so fucking insane. I think that there's been some new people that have tuned in from the live stream, especially on TikTok. There's a high conversion rate. Like, some people come in, other people then turn around and leave. Do you just in synopsis kind of want to re-explain what position Lee is in, just for maybe all the people that have tuned in since we started?
Yeah. My friend Lee, she's not a creator. She's a regular person. About a week ago was outed as trans to her family and was given an hour's notice to get out of the house. And so now she's been essentially homeless, and I need to raise money for her to help her get back on her feet. As you all probably know, being trans and homeless is a horrible situation to be in, especially being trans. Trans people are 4 times more likely to be victimized than cis people. And only half of those assaults are told to the police. And so it's just a terrible, unsafe situation for her to be in. So I'm just raising money for my personal friend. So I appreciate all of this very much.
I love that so much. I'm so happy that we could help her. I'm just, that's one of the big reasons why I love this community, folks, is, everybody who engages in, my content on a daily basis, I'm sure that you're here because of a factor of entertainment, gives you something to listen to, but more so than that, you're here because you think what we talk about matters. And this is what we talk about, but in application. So, I really love that. Like, dude, I just took a look. It is well over $2,000. I mean,
awesome.
Just straight from the get-go. I mean,
wow.
Now we could at least give some comfortability to Lee just for a little bit longer while, she's figuring
I appreciate you guys
out.
so much. Thank you for the platform, Dean.
Yeah, no, I mean, I saw your message, and I really wanted to help, because I could only, dude, imagine being in that position. It is such a difficult position to be in. An incredibly difficult position to be in. Now, we're going to go ahead and keep this up on the stream for another 5 or so minutes. Then I'm going to hop off for the night. But I'm going to keep that GoFundMe in the link tree in my bio for the foreseeable future. So, if you want to support, don't think you can today, but might want to tomorrow, it'll still be in my bio. Same thing if you can't support because, things are too tight to make that comfortable for you. I mean, hey, dude, listen, we're living in Trump's America. Layoffs and unemployment is skyrocketing. Share that GoFundMe link. That's another really great way to help and support. And I love that. So, and like I said, I'm going to be making a personal donation myself. So,
Thank you.
be happy to help too. But, anyways, folks, let's see where we're at. Dude, wow. Dude, $2,600
Awesome.
is fucking insane.
Wonderful. That
Huge
is
shout out to
wonderful.
you
Thank you
guys.
so much. Thank you so much. You guys don't know how much that means to me and how much it'll mean to her. I can't wait to break this news to her. She was just hoping, when we were talking about it this morning, she's like, God, like $500, like that would save my life. And I'm like, I think I think we got you. So this is awesome.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I'll never know what it's like to get
And
kicked
Jax,
out
come
of.
back with an update on me. 1000% I will.
Oh yeah, you're more than welcome to join whenever, to give an update. Even if I'm in the middle of a debate and I see you in the queue, I'll let you up just to give a quick update. I love that. I
Cool
love that.
debate today. I was actually watching on my way home. Hilarious.
Dude. Oh my
I'm gonna be
god.
thinking about Chris for a while.
Yeah, we get some crazy people up here. Oh my goodness, this just came in. Huge shout out to William, who just sent in $200
Thank
to that
you so much,
GoFundMe.
William.
That is crazy.
Oh my
Shout
God.
out to William. That is incredible. Thank you so much,
Thank
William.
you.
That is fantastic. Like I said, I don't personally have, and I will never know what it's like to get, kicked out of my house because I'm trans, clearly because I'm cis. And I will never know exactly what that feels like. But, at 2 points throughout my upbringing, I was kicked out. And that was like one of the hardest periods of my life. And, the only saving grace that I had was like other family members that were willing to take me in for a while. And it sounds like that's not something that Lee has, based upon kind of what we talked about even off app. And I couldn't imagine. I just legitimately could not imagine being in that position.
That's why community is so important. That's why I'm just glad to be here. What a great community.
Let's see where we are at. Dude, $3,200. I love that.
All
That's
right.
great.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
that is wow. That is awesome.
I'm beaming.
Yeah, guys, thank you guys so much, every single one of you, for just the insane level of outpour and support for Lee. I know that we do these fundraisers not as frequently as I think I should. I should definitely be working on more community fundraisers on the streams more frequently. If you don't know, on our Discord, we have a whole channel dedicated in there towards mutual aid. And, we have projects running for mutual aid in there. Like, what is it? Like, every week? I'm sure that the moderation team probably knows a little bit more about that than me. And they're just always running great mutual aid projects in there. But, what I love is that when we do these fundraisers on stream, you guys are always fucking down for it. And I'm so very grateful. Already at $3,500.
Let's go.
From the last moment I spoke. That is awesome. And please tell Lee that I hope that they are able to find a solution, and that
seeing all
can
the
imagine
support, I feel like
solution
this is exactly what she needed after such a traumatic situation.
Yeah, just to start working on getting back on her feet.
Mhm.
It's so crazy, but unfortunately, even a couple $1,000s, that's not going to get you all the way back to good and ready when you are completely unhoused with no solution whatsoever. But it is the start that they need to find their way to a happy tomorrow. Folks, at this moment in time, wow, that is crazy. We're close to 4,000. I love that.
That's perfect. That's amazing.
I love that so much. That is so great. At this moment in time, guys, like I told you, at 6:30, so we are going to be ending the live stream. But just because we're ending the live stream doesn't mean that the fundraiser is over. If you do want to support, you'll be able to find that in the link tree in my bio on TikTok for the foreseeable future. Same thing with Jax's. So if you want to support, please feel free to. That's a way to find it once again.
And again, thank you, everybody. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, and please come back to us with an update whenever you got one. We'd love to hear it.
100%.
And you're welcome on the live stream whenever. And I really appreciate you so much for joining, and I hope that you have a great rest of your day. And I'm going to be keeping track about this, and you'll probably see a text from me later.
Yes, perfect. I will let you know. I'll talk to you later tonight.
Awesome.
Bye.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Bye.
Bye. I love that. Thank you guys so much. I mean, that is fucking insane. Legitimately,
That
in
is
less
crazy, dude.
Yeah, in less than 20 minutes, I mean, raised close to $4,000, and I love that. I love that so much. I wish that there's a little bit more I could share, but I didn't get the adequate approval. But just know that this is, good money going to a good person with a great friend. Okay. I also just want to give a very big shout out to Jax, who is a great friend to Lee. I mean, I don't know too much about Jax, but from what I have seen from her, she's just an incredible person who really cares a lot about the people in her life. I mean, just look at what she's doing for Lee. So big shout out to Jax. Parker, wow, you just found yourself on TikTok. You just popped up on the TikTok screen. I had it cropped to Jax, but then when she left, now it's you. Now I got you on the TikTok. Sorry, on the YouTube.
The YouTube? Oh, sorry. Hi, everyone on YouTube.
Yeah, look at that. That's crazy. All right, Parker, you gonna go live, do some debates?
Yeah, I was about to go live right now.
Love that.
Are you hopping off right now?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and hop off. Hit a good workout. Hey, listen. For everybody who tuned in today on TikTok, for everybody who tuned in today on YouTube, W's in the chat for such a great community. Outpour of love and support for every single person, especially those who supported. Thank you guys so much. Make sure to hit that follow button on your way out on TikTok. Drop a sub over on YouTube. Everybody in the chat is spamming battle. What time is it? 10:30. Maybe later tonight, folks. Maybe later tonight. Okay. All right, I'm going to go ahead and hop off, Parker. I hope you have a good stream.
Have a good night, bro.
For everybody who's still in the mood for some debates, head over to @ParkerGetAJob on TikTok, @ParkerGetAJob on YouTube. You'll be able to watch some great debates over there. But this is it for me for the night. Peace, love, good night, and goodbye.